You think you're weird? I think you're dumb. You fucking had that show makes me so fun. You're drunk now, just go home. You're drunk now, just go home. You're drunk now, just go home. You're drunk now. All right, we're fucking live from LaPel, Indiana. It's
Again.
luscious. It's loiny. Yeah, this is take 2 from the fucking garage out here. Today we have in the hizzy none other than motherfucking Dustin Parks. What's up, Dustin?
That's enough. We've been at Gangster here in LaPel, Indiana. I played Little League Baseball here. And my mom just about fought a lady at the Little League Diamond, if that lady's watching today.
Was that yesterday? Because that was probably Nick's mom.
Nope, that was 1989, 1990, something like that.
Hell yeah.
100 years ago.
So Nick Jordan's in the house tonight. Apparently he was just down the street at my mother's house, so he just swung by, figured he'd hang out. That's the longest, worst.
She asked me to check on you, though.
There's
Yeah.
a line. That's why I didn't wait. I wanted to get here. we were starting late enough as it was, so I didn't want to hang out.
Yeah. So thanks for everybody to joining in.
I had been there since last night, so.
Oh yeah.
Marathon, man. I like it. I like it.
Mm.
It's not a sprint. It is a marathon with Shep's mom. That's the next
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
They're going to do that on Thursday nights. The marathon with Shep's mom.
I'm surprised she hasn't chimed in yet. She usually does within the first 15 minutes. So, do you think your mom's gonna be watching? Anybody? Anybody's
I mean, I feel like my mom did chime in at some point.
My mom couldn't make this shit work if you offered her money to do it. There's not a chance my mom's watching this.
That's fair. That's fair. There are people that like. I'm sure they're. Yeah, I'm sure. We were just having a conversation about this the other day. So, I'm hungover to fucking piss. I didn't get home from the punk rock night last night until 6:30 in the morning. Worked all day. Cheers. Whoever's drinking at home. Does anybody? You guys good? You want some of that dirty whisk?
Drinking water.
That benchmark right on.
I drank at a fancy party last night, so I'm trying to
right on
rehydrate today.
Oh yeah. What about
Colorado water?
Colorado water.
Natural light.
Natural light.
Basically water.
Benchmark.
Right.
Per usual.
Indiana sober. Just a couple beers.
So I get every episode I give everybody for coming on the show the gift of VHS. So let me grab those real quick. So I had it. This is not the easiest thing to do. So I'll start with you, Dustin. I felt like this would be appropriate. I had who did I have on this week? I had the Steves on. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm sporting the shirt. Thanks to Steves for the shirt. And I was telling them I had to make a choice, and I chose Predators 2 for you, sir.
Oh, that is fair. I'm not mad at that.
It's a good one.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that at all.
And then for the nerd over there, and what are those things called? Yoga pants, the pink yoga pants. By the way, check out these shirts. Both Dustin and Nick are wearing dope shirts.
This is better than mine, though.
Maud the Jewels with Maud, not Dorothy, not the goddamn Golden Girls. This is Maud. This is pre the Golden Girls. I feel like
I'm trying. Do it.
Feel like the Betty White fans that really sucked her dick when she died should understand how important B. Arthur was. And Rue McClanahan too. All the Golden Girls were out there doing pretty baller shit, revolutionary shit. Suckers.
Don't get me started about the Golden Girls.
B. Arthur stan.
I love the Golden Girls.
I'm a Rue. We just named our cat Rue McClanahan because we're standing the shit out of the trill ass Golden Girls at our house. It's a hell of a way to start.
My favorite was Sophia, though.
I just dunked on Betty White's
Estelle
corpse.
Getty.
Yeah,
Right.
I look Estelle Getty
She
when
was
she did the movie with Sylvester Stallone and was the cop's mom.
Oh,
I felt like
stop
there
her,
was
my mom will shoot, or something
Yes.
like that.
that was amazing.
Yeah.
Illegal Cable in the 80s delivered so many fantastic movies to me. Predator 2.
Predator
2.
Hell yeah.
I didn't have to wait at Blockbuster for that. We got that on illegal cable.
Obscene Right said Lady Godiva was a freedom rider.
God damn it. And then there was Maud.
Did you look? Yes, I did. No, I didn't, but I know how to trick the camera. So for Nick, I grabbed Star Trek, the original motion picture.
Oh, that's a good one.
I thought I had Wrath of Khan.
I think I would rather have that one.
For real?
Wrath of Khan's so like.
Well, have you seen this before?
Yeah.
All right, so the first 35 minutes of the film was just a shot of the
I love it.
ship or whatever. It says special long version with an extra 12 minutes of a shot of just the ship right there on the top.
Tell me, is that the one with Voyager? It's like they sent out Voyager or whatever, and that's the one. Like they end up going into what is God, but at the center of it, it's the Voyager that had been sent out. It thinks its name's Voyager because the OYA.
When an unidentified alien destroys 3 powerful Kingdom cruisers, Captain James T. Kirk returns to the newly transformed USS Enterprise to take command. Shatner is joined on this heroic mission by Leonard Nimoy, DeForest Kelly, and the cast from the acclaimed Star Trek television series. The entire crew mobilizes at warp speed to stop the alien intruder from its relentless flight towards Earth.
That's probably it.
Yeah,
sounds right.
Well, I'm not going to walk it over there.
Shatner. I have a William Shatner story.
No shit.
So he actually, I think, married somebody from the Midwest, maybe Indiana, but at any rate, he was passing through Lebanon, where I'm from, and stopped. And I was working at the Radio Shack, and I'm getting ready to walk out to go to lunch, and this guy stops me and he's like, "Hey, can you tell me where the mini recorders are?" And I was like, "I'm actually heading out to lunch, but this guy over here will help you." And I was like, "But they're over there." So, and I walk out, I come back, and the guy's like, "Hey, do you know who that was?" And I was like, "No." It was William. He was like, "Oh, it was William Shatner, man. Fucking." And I'm like, "No way, no way." So sure enough, though, and he actually like saved a copy of the receipt to show me that it said William Shatner on it.
No shit.
And I was like, maybe that's pretty cool. Maybe it kind of looked like him. It didn't look like him to me.
Yeah.
Whatever. But he calls up there a little bit later, and he had lost his credit card somewhere along the way. And he's like, "Hey, this is William Shatner." Like whatever. I suck at impressions, but
it was pretty good. It was solid. I knew what you were doing,
but it was fucking him.
So
you guys want to see me get heat? I've watched 12 episodes of The Next Generation. That's all I've ever watched.
That's all I ever watched. Yeah.
I don't know anything else about it. Yeah, I don't know that nerd.
I watched more than 12 fucking episodes. I'm sure you love.
Oh, I thought you meant today.
He's saying he only watched
my life. Yeah,
total.
In my life, I watched the guy with the beard and Picard, Professor X.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
Jean-Luc.
It was pleasant, but
are you saying that's all the Star Trek?
That's all the Star Trek I've ever watched. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, you want to see me get some heat, nerds.
So, real quick, we've got Obscene Rights dropping some comments. What's up, Candace? Candace noticed I looked the VHS, which actually I didn't, but maybe I did. But what if I didn't? And then Art, what's up, brother? And then now we have our first series question from a Twitch user named OG Butt Stuff. Real quick, guys. Anybody else ever push out a poop so big it gave you a boner? And the truth is, every time I poop, I get a boner. It's just how it works. 5 times a day, boner while pooping.
I haven't had a boner in 7 years.
7 years, Jesus.
For any reason. Sorry.
I pee every time I poop, and I thought everybody did.
Yeah? But no boner?
I mean, there's times where I've kind of like gotten boners while I was pooping for whatever.
I've gotten old enough now where like I can't pee while I poop. I have to get up after I'm done pooping and then pee separately. I'm not sure what that is. Yeah. I wonder if that's like a prostate thing. I don't know.
Mine's
not been checked this week.
Yeah,
I always pee like I pee and then I start pooping. I feel like.
Yeah. It wasn't until this year, every time I get a boner, I just poop a little bit.
Yeah.
Like not a whole lot, just like a little bit.
A little
But yeah,
nugget.
just like a little nugget, like a little turtle head just pops out.
Yeah.
Poop.
That's pretty common though, I think.
I call them sex brownies.
Poop.
All right.
That's what we're talking about.
I'm done.
Not poop.
I'm done joking.
Poop.
I'm
Yeah.
done fucking around.
I
just
get a
thought it
poop
was
boner butt stuff.
fun.
Thanks.
Somebody
Thank you.
who just had to drop that one in there. So the boner is caused by backed up blood flow. I did not know that. Thank you, doctor.
You have opened a terrible door. Look what has
Oh, come on, OG.
now.
OG butt stuff started. Maybe that's why Arthur spent so much time in the bathroom.
Like OG butt stuff. Like
Weird Pandora's
what to
box
bring
now,
into
my
the
guy.
table, right?
That's all right. She's prairie dogging. Wait, that's the same last name as the other
I
person.
love
They're
that.
married.
I'm prairie
Oh,
dogging.
fun.
I remember the
Shannon.
first time I heard that was in a movie from the probably late 90s, maybe right around 2000 called Rat Race.
Oh yeah,
Remember that movie?
Yeah.
Rowan Atkinson's in
Yeah,
there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of a list of like, I think maybe there's other stars and shit in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
dude.
The
for
kid's
sure.
wanting him to pull over and he's back in the back seat and he's like, need to poop. And the dad won't stop. He's like, I'm prairie dogging it back here.
Oh my god! Can
I'm
you
pretty
elaborate
bad.
for the people at home that know what a prairie dog is?
I mean, I think it's self-evident when you hear the backstory there.
All right,
Poop.
poop. So yeah, Dustin, how's your daytime commute? Pretty easy drive over,
Oh yeah. I mean, it's Sunday.
right? Are
To
you
Lapel. I came from Middletown to Lapel, so I got to the scenic
oh, you're
38th
Middletown.
Street of Anderson.
I believe it's pronounced Lapel.
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 Well, it's gotta have
to be
a fancy
argumentative, but-
lapel. It's gotta have some fancy shit to it
It's
now.
like
It's
people
got
that
like a
say
brewery here
Target.
now, right? It's like a
It's like
brewery,
Target.
a
shit.
fancy pizza place.
Yeah, lapel.
Not just your Pizza King or your Pizza Hut.
There's a
No.
yeah.
I saw that on Google Maps. I don't really know what that is. It just looked fancy.
There's like a art
King
spot
Dough.
opening up too.
King Dough.
That's right. There is a
in
King Dough.
Lapel.
It's like
I've been trying to teach
coming.
myself Haitian Creole, which is kind of like French. So I've got a lot of le. Pen is bread, in case you were wondering.
Man.
Hmm.
So I don't know why I thought you lived in Lapel.
No.
Not in Lapel, Elwood.
No, well, I used to live in Elwood. It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in Anderson for a little bit, and
Ugh.
we just
Ugh.
moved. Like we just moved to Middletown. So
So a while back, I was up in Elwood with my now ex, and we went to the grocery store to pick up some shit, and we ran into each other, and like literally you looked me in the eyes, you're like, what the fuck are you doing what are you doing here, dude? You need to run,
Yeah.
get out of here, run.
it was like a Rick and Morty moment where like two separate universes that I existed in crossed each other, and it was just like, no, you're in the wrong place. This doesn't make sense. You don't want to. No. This isn't it. This is not the one.
the
Yeah.
shock in your face, it was so funny, but you were immediately like, turn around, don't ever come back to Elwood, you'll get sucked in and you'll never get out.
Yeah.
And here I am, dude. I should have listened to you,
I was
because
gonna say,
now
Ex-wife? Did I hear ex-wife?
yeah my ex the mother of my children and all of her family's up in Elwood. So yeah, dude, I didn't listen to you, and now I'm forever tied to Elwood, Indiana.
Elwood has been a pretty amazing place for me. So like the second job I ever had, I worked at the Taco Bell in Elwood back when like they just first brought a Taco Bell to Elwood, and a lot of problems with a lot of the locals there. I got a big mouth as it is, and the people there are extra stupid. They are they're it's not just Midwestern Indiana, it's like an extra layer to it. And I got into it with a lady that wanted 60 tacos one night, and there were 63-cent taco night, no 30-cent taco night, and she wanted 60 tacos, and I had to explain to her that was fucking insane, that she was being crazy. She told me she was gonna sick her husband on me.
Did she come in or was she going through the drive-through?
She came in.
Okay.
Obviously, you're gonna come in when you're gonna get something like 60 fucking tacos.
That's I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm behind somebody in the drive-thru making a 60 taco order, and I'm like, what?
I
What the fuck?
wiped the sweat from my crack on a taco supreme one night, and then we watched the kid eat it. And my favorite part of this story is like 5 years later, I'm playing poker in a guy's apartment, and they're like, "Oh, this is the guy. This guy right here wiped his sweaty butt crack on your taco." And that guy was just like, "Dang, you would have punched me, right? Like I would have punched me. There's no fucking way. Like I would have dropped that 5 years later or not. No. I'm gonna go ahead and go to jail for that. I ate your butt crack taco. I'm pretty salty
I
still.
feel like at that time, I'm kind of at 5 years later. I'm kind of like,
Yeah, I felt like
you got me. You got me.
I felt like it was ho shit. I felt like it was ho shit. But no, be nice to people that work in fast food. They might wipe their butt on your taco. It wasn't poop though. It was just sweat. Back to poop. Always gonna be poop.
God damn it! It's not even a butt stuff episode.
It is. Yeah, it is actually fully butt stuff
officially
episode. Yeah.
a butt stuff episode. So, so the way how I met, both of us met Dustin. So he used to be the lead singer of a band called Giraffes Eating Lions.
The singer was the guy that yelled and kind of howled and gave people ugly looks.
No, you know what you just, dude? It just fucking hit me. I know. God damn it. So back in the day, there was a show that you did and you weren't able to be there for reasons. And everybody went on stage.
I was in jail.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, fine, John. You can tell everybody. I was in jail.
So yeah.
I'm a felon.
And they had they made these little Dustin Park masks with rubber bands that you could wear and go on stage and sing Giraffes Eating Lion songs. And I actually have mine and I totally forgot to hunt it down and grab it. Because I wanted to.
It's all right.
I remember being at that and not having a clue what was going on, but thinking like, well, that's really fucking cool.
So I got to book my own punk rock night. Rich was like, no, just you're 4 bands. So it was Giraffes and the Pink Cigarettes and Swear Jar and Matt Anthony from Cincinnati. It was my punk rock night. And I was so excited. I got to do it. It was going to be my show. And then, I was in jail in Madison County, mopping floors, the 3rd floor. The women's floor. And I missed it, but seemed like it was a good time. They still found a way. Those guys would always find a way, even if I wasn't there, to do something extra. And that's not the only time we ever had people come up out of the audience and do stuff with us. The floating drummer we did the night that the girl broke her leg when her boyfriend came to play drums for us at the 5th quarter, which was another crazy fucking night. Brandon Lytle, who was watching, maybe still watching. I stuck my fingers in my nose for him a minute ago. Yeah, he was kind of drunk that night and looked at me and was like, we got to cancel, man. Like our drummer's in India and our second drummer, his girlfriend just broke her leg on the stairs. Like, I think that's probably a sign we can't. And a 6'4" Wookiee with drunk eyes was like, we don't cancel shows. So, yeah, we played and we just had people come up out of the crowd and play drums for us. It was fucking terrible, but we had a lot of fun. We always had a lot of fun.
I feel like I missed that one.
Yeah, Pink Cigarettes were definitely there. They played drums on a couple songs. It was like a weeknight at the 5th quarter.
I love the 5th quarter.
Yeah, me too.
You remember them stairs in the back?
Yeah.
We meet this girl, and her boyfriend was going to play drums for us because Rob was in India. And he's like, oh, my girlfriend's basically a nurse. And she's like, I work at a pharmacy, you fucking idiot. She's like, I'm not a nurse. Like, what are you talking about? Like, whatever. So we meet them. They seem nice enough. And we go to walk down the stairs, and Amy and I are walking, and we're talking about meeting them. And, she was nice. And we turn the corner to go into the bar, and then we just heard fucking chaos behind us. And this girl fell all the way down from the top, down those rickety stone steps or whatever they were in the back, and compound fractured her leg. Now, so an ambulance came and got her, and then we still went ahead and played for some fucking reason. I don't know. It was insane. Everything we did, none of it made sense. Yeah, we were just we were heat seekers, right? That's what we did. So anything that was awkward or bad, we just like to make people look at us and go, "What the fuck?"
Like turning all your equipment around the wrong direction.
And we may have did that. I don't know. I know I met you at was it Shep Fest where we did the weird set. That lady yelled, the one lady that touched the meat with her bare hands, which was fucking insane. Man, I'll never forget that fucking night because that lady reached in I was smoking meat, and she reached in and grabbed that giant hunk of meat with her bare fucking hands, and like, I don't like it had to burn her, but and then she yelled shit at us. She threw a can at, I think, at me. So that's when we got real weird. That was like we played like a reggae version of DNR. That was a really weird night. What I always remember is God, there was a band that didn't really go over great, and they were playing, I can't remember what their name, and they were playing in the between songs they stopped and everything got real quiet, and you could hear Justin Avery's phone. He was playing a game where you shot cats at people, and you just heard meow, and it was like, oh, that was the funniest fucking thing I might have ever. Oh God, they just kept doing songs about weed. God damn it. And it was like, this next song's about weed. And it's like, we get it. The last 4 songs were about
They're
weed.
all about weed.
Kill Sublime. We understand.
So
I'm sorry. Those are probably your friends. I don't know. But yeah.
All my friends are dead, man.
All my friends are trying.
I remember being at watching you guys and standing next to her, and it was it was her property.
Amazing.
And
oh yeah.
And like, so it was this whole thing about like everything was cool until like it just suddenly wasn't.
Yeah, like her 5th or
And
6th line of coke, you mean?
probably, yeah.
Well, something was
And-
magical about her anyway. Like I said, when she grabbed that meat, and it was like, oh man, she's a fucking problem. I think that's what made her mad at us, because she grabbed the meat and we all just started giggling. Like, it's normal for you to grab off of the fire. You grab the meat with your bare hands. And, no, yeah, you're the normal one. It's not us. So like, we giggled, and then she was mad at us, and then she threw beer cans.
There was,
Like so many beer cans.
Oh man.
I was trying to explain what was going on though.
Also,
and I was like, you're just not getting it. You don't understand what they're doing.
A lot. That was,
and
kind
I mean,
of our
but
jam.
it's like, almost understandable that somebody wouldn't get it. So I'm not trying to like, to say that I get it is even like.
The point was to make it ungettable, so at least one person would be mad. I think was kind of I like attention. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative, like it's fine. Like I said, I'm like a heat seeker. I like to think of myself as a bit of a Roddy Piper-esque character just in my regular life.
Makes me think of Abby Kaufman.
Fair. That's not bad. Andy Kaufman.
Andy Kaufman. Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I just want to say also too, that night that the pink cigarettes tabletopped me that fucking night. Davey and Abby. I'll never forget that, and I've never come back for my revenge. Sons of bitches.
And you mentioned Swear Jar. They were awesome.
Yeah, Swear Jar is amazing.
I got that record.
Yeah, huge fans of those guys. Shane and Jerry James. Jerry was in all those Cincinnati bands. Those guys are great. But yeah, giraffes.
Yeah, that show that out there, it was I'm pretty sure I could do this. Let's see how good my memory is. Funkbot, Mr. Clinton, the Pink Cigarettes, Giraffe Eating Lions, Gitmos, Fastidio, Black Lions, Midwest State of Mind. That's it. I think that's it. I think I just did it. Dwarf Among Midgets.
Dwarf Among Midgets.
Yes.
Yeah. We played 2 shows that night too.
No Coast. Did they?
That's right. We did have No Coast. Wait, did we?
Because I remember like a bunch of stuff went down towards the real close to the show where a few bands had fallen off. So like there's flyers that I know are not quite accurate.
Okay.
I just remember the commercial.
Like almost,
dude. That was
I feel
so
like
good.
Maybe Midwest State of Mind fell off.
No, they were definitely there.
Definitely there. They were the weed band.
Yeah, they were.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. But no. Yeah, they were definitely there. It was a good time. Everybody had a good time. It was not bad.
The outhouse that we constructed.
Oh
was
my God.
pretty memorable.
Well, and we played earlier in the day at the motocross thing that
Anita Fest?
Yes, at Anita Fest. We played earlier that day. So by the time we got to you guys, we'd already done one set. I also went to like my 20th high school reunion or my 15th or something earlier in the day. So like I was tired. We were grumpy. The lady with the meat hands was doing shit. And it was like, nah, we're gonna, it became weird. We didn't even like agree on that. But it was just part of being in giraffes. The night we played with Swear Jar, you guys might have been there, and we all wore band-aids on our face and didn't explain it to anybody. And it was just like, why do they have wait, why are they wearing band-aids? Like, man, they just fucking wearing band-aids on their face because they're fucking weirdos. That's what they do. Yeah, it's just because the drummer had acne and he covered it with a band-aid, so we all did it. But
Out of solidarity.
well, just because we're stupid, just for whatever reason. The time we all wore hospital gowns and masks because my wife was in the hospital.
I remember that one.
Just to be a fucking problem, it was always some shit. I'll never forget the guy. I think he's no longer with us. That man, he slapped the absolute shit out of me, and it was just like I didn't really know how to react to it, so I turned around and slapped him back. He had a giant handprint on my stomach, and I slapped
Like
him
a
back.
flare chop?
Well, yeah, like it was like from the. I was on stage though at the I think it was the fifth quarter again. And he slapped the fucking shit out of me. So I slapped him in the face, and the next day he's like, "I guess you don't like people having fun at your shows." And it was like, what the fuck? Like, no, I don't actually. Come back, and I'll ruin another one for you. But it was always something. I don't know why we brought out the strangest, most aggressive shit in people. It was wild. That one guy had like a seizure during our set. The other guy tried to come on stage and Brandon headbutted him back to the floor. I didn't even know any of that happened. Brandon almost kicked me through the window at the Melody Inn. That's one of my favorite videos of all time. I think Alana Disney has that where I'm picking myself up after I unplugged all the guitars and like looking at my dick or whatever. I don't know.
It's that shit though that you remember from the shows. Is those like memorable moments. I can't remember hardly. Like you get maybe 6 months out from a show, and I can no longer really remember hardly a moment of playing.
Well,
like
I remember
actual music.
What there's videos
moments
of, I remember,
shit.
There's
and it might be from the stage, but it'll be still like maybe my perception of what the crowd was doing in that moment or something.
Oh, I'm sure everything in my mind looks like some rock star shit. I'm sure it looked horrible. This flabby middle-aged guy thinks he's doing some rock star. Oh, no, man, I look like Henry Rollins. You do not look like Henry Rollins, my guy. You are fat and you're hairy and you're wearing underpants that are a size too small. But I come away with it with a bunch of really good stories. And like I said, we always had heat. The night that I wore the "You're gonna want to fight me later" shirt, and then that guy wanted to fight me. Like, oh, who saw that one coming? Like, I had no idea. Christy carried me to the car that night and was like, "Man, that guy's gonna whip your ass." I was like, "That's why I'm letting you carry me to the car." Like, yeah, I'm gonna keep talking shit, but make sure you get me in the car in my underwear in February. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm an easy person to hate. It's all right.
That actually well documented that show actually.
Oh, fun.
Because it was the first cover.
Oh my god,
of Chopped Livers zine, issue number 1. And I can't post this photo on social media anymore because you look pretty much naked.
Yeah, that tracks.
Turn it around and show the back of it.
Who's the pizza boy?
What was it?
Dwarf, Indica,
I see Fiber,
and Funkbot. Oh, maybe it wasn't February. Yeah, this was January of 2015.
15.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
it's 100 years ago.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah.
Well, that just surprises me. That's kind of a late date when I think about those bands and doing a show like that.
Right.
TPS report.
I feel like we peaked in 2014 for that run.
It's even like 2012. I don't know. It all goes together. I think all that stuff happened like 2 years ago. It doesn't feel like it's been 10 years. But
have you been doing any other music since?
We did the Anne Frank Dukes for a little bit, and then honestly, a bunch of stuff changed. This guy became president, and everybody's politics got real inflated, and shit got weird. And I, amongst them, got real weird and got real aggressive with my politics, and kind of stopped dealing with shit from people. So, we've had some false starts on maybe Giraffes doing a show or doing more stuff. We had like a different version of Giraffes. We were going to kind of do different stuff. I love those guys. So like my problem with being in bands is I just want to be in a band with those guys over and over. And that's all. Like I don't really have a lot of interest in hanging out with other people other than Justin Avery and Brandon Lytle and Rob, and the kind of the orbit of those guys. They're just my favorite people. So I'm always about once every 6 months I drop in their DMs being like, we should do a Giraffes thing.
Hell yeah, that would be dope. I'll definitely be down to go to that.
You know, I can't even imagine trying to do it now. I feel like I'm 100 years older. You know, like I blew my neck up like 2 years ago. I can't hardly sleep without it hurting, so I can't imagine doing giraffe shit. But
You could add a neck brace and
Yeah.
well, I mean,
make
it
it
would all
a
make sense.
visual.
Well,
you know.
and that was kind of our thing. You know, the night Mona DiMaggio kept telling people that I was going to take all my clothes off at Beale Street. Was that place?
Yeah, yeah.
And oh yeah, wait till you see him in his underwear. He's gonna wear his underwear. So I stopped at Goodwill and I bought several outfits. So when I got there, I kept taking clothes off, but I had more clothes on underneath. So like I showed up in July in a fur coat with like 4 outfits on, and it was just like, why do you do that? You never want to be what they want you to be. Like being a problem.
Yeah.
It's just kind of my jam.
I definitely remember that.
Yeah.
I remember my first impression before I ever talked to you. I'd seen your band, I think, twice, and I had not talked to you yet. And I was like, man, this dude is like aggro. Like he likes to cause problem. Like you could just tell. Like, and then I got to sit down and talk to you, and I was like blown away. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm a bit of an enigma. I always think of you guys ever see the band Astrofang from Dayton, Ohio?
Astrofang, I don't think so.
Yeah, we played our very first punk rock night with them in 2012. Them and the Vibrolas, and they were kids. They were kind of in the Brainiac vein, just kind of all over the place. They had a really great video on YouTube for a long time. But also that's the guy. You remember when the Facebook hoax of a Limp Bizkit reunion concert at a gas station in Dayton, Ohio? Okay, that was those guys that put that together. But anyway,
no shit.
Those guys, we played with those guys, and we met them, and it was just like, oh, you know, we're dads, and we're all like, it's nice to meet you, kids, and you know, it's so nice to meet you. And then after we played, that kid was like, that was the scariest fucking thing I've ever seen in my life. You are not the same person that you are when you're. It's like, yeah, that's kind of the fucking point, right? Like, are you supposed to come here and play pretend for 45 minutes?
It was like night and day. I was like, what? I did not expect that.
Yeah.
I thought you were just gonna be a total dick, and you're not. I was like, holy shit.
Well, you know, I just like stirring shit. I pick scabs. You know, that's the best way to put it. I pick scabs. It looks like that's a thing that we should talk about more, so we should talk about it some more. And I like to make people feel awkward. There's one person I'll never mess with again. There's an Indianapolis musician who will go unnamed who was really full of himself, and his band sounded like Pearl Jam's First Practice. But I talked shit to him one day on the internet, and then that night I got arrested and went to jail. So I never talked shit to him again because I was worried he was a witch.
Holy shit!
It doesn't matter who he is, but
Pearl Jam's first band practice
definitely sounded like Pearl Jam's First Practice. So anybody that knows about that fucking clown knows. But anywho, yeah, here I am being problematic again. I've not even been in a band since 2016. I'm talking.
Oh, don't worry. There's tons of problematic shit going on.
Oh no, there always is. It's just, hey, at least I was problematic in a way where it's like, oh man, he's just a jerk, and not like, oh, that guy's a rapist again. Here's
a rapist again.
Here's another rapist again. You kind of see him cycle.
Us he changed, but he's doing it again.
Well, you'll see him cycle. You see him kind of cycle through, and it's like, oh, look, you know, there's pictures of like a punk rock show, and I've never seen that guy before. And then you'll see him more, and then, you know, like about a year later, they're like, oh, that guy's a problem. He's touching people and does weird shit. At least I was never that. I was just mean to you guys. I was just mean to you guys on the internet, you know.
Bar.
Yeah. Set the bar.
Exactly. Like, I actually feel like I was a pretty good guy. I tried to do nice shit. Anytime you wanted us to do charity stuff, we did it. We just also were mean. My favorite, maybe all time, was the guy saying, what would your band members say if they knew you were being a dick like this on the internet? And then all of them showed up in order being like, we like it. Fuck you. That guy was like, I don't like your band. And then Justin Avery was like, well, if you liked my band, that would mean that I was in a band that I hated, and I would quit making that music immediately. And it's like, like, this is the band for me. Those are my people. But yeah, we're just a bunch of jerks. That's why we always said we were jerk rock. We weren't really punk rock. We weren't punks. We were jerks. We were just
You guys are heavy as fuck.
dicks. Well, we were always we were the least punk rock band when we played on punk rock bills, or we were the least metal band when we played on metal bills. We never fit. It never made sense. There was never like a perfect bill for. I think the Swear Jar Mad Anthony Pink Cigarettes was like the closest we ever got to like that bill makes sense. It was always just like, no. And I think that's kind of why we got so much heat from people, because it was like the punk rock guys that took themselves too seriously. And that's why I got along with you guys. You guys are just guys, pretty upfront with what you're doing. We like to have fun. We're gonna do some songs about having fun. We're just dudes. You weren't wearing a out. I mean, you were dressed like David Lee Roth and Macho Man had a fucking love child, but like you don't really have like you're not like. I definitely stopped by the Hot Topic and got some fake hair dye on my way here or whatever, like, so we got along with you guys, but it was like if you took yourself if you were too metal,
Yeah.
I was gonna, fuck with you. Or if you were too punk rock, I was gonna fuck with you, like
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's what punk rock is, just doing whatever.
I always felt like we never fit in.
Yeah.
Did that tracks? I mean,
I feel musically more so like to say that we felt like some kind of misfits or something, not so much, because I've always felt like there was a core kind of like scene thing going on. And even through its cycles, we always found our way to be in the mix. So to like only maybe at the very beginning did I feel like some kind of outsider, because I felt like we had started out in the Mike Dyer camp and whatnot, and there was just this thing, and I felt like
James first. James first.
So
that's a callback, but he didn't know it was gonna be.
I didn't know either. No idea.
Yeah.
But so that was particularly where he would go talking shit and whatnot, and
there was a sweet
sometimes
spot.
I felt compelled to try to, and you get wisdom is to like let other people hang themselves and stay the fuck out of their shit and whatnot, and it's like not my job to defend people that are just because they're like booking the band to play some shows or whatever.
Well, to me that always seemed like some self-important shit, because like I would go in those groups, and that's why people didn't like me, because it's like you don't have to kiss anybody's ass. Do you have an email? That's how I got shows. We had an email address, and we would email people, and they would email back. And if you show up and you do something, you don't even have to be good. If you just show up and get attention and sell some beers, they're gonna have you back again. And then it's up to you to like keep getting attention and keep being cool. But like anybody can get the first show. It's getting like better shows and more shows that was kind of the issue. And that guy was gonna manage bands, and I can get you on to this stage, and like I'm the key to that. And it's whatever, just try, be cool. Can you be fucking cool? That's the problem. Most people can't be cool.
Yeah, he actually is the person that really actually inspired the song that opens my shows. And then my buddy Will, he's also a big part of that song, but it was really actually sorry Mike, but you like to go online and complain about people not coming out to your shows. So.
Does he still do that?
I don't think he books anymore.
I was gonna say, is he still a person?
And I mean, honestly, well, if I'm gonna say something negative, I would say something positive. That motherfucker booked us so many fucking shows.
Yeah.
And while I mean, you could say mediocre as far as any crowd thing or whatever, but I met him through that.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like we really were able to cut our teeth and get our chops together playing as much as we did.
Yeah, he tried.
Now, I would
really
never
hard.
suggest to a local band to play as much as we were playing in town and whatnot. But for us at that time,
yeah,
I look back at it and have a lot of fond memories too.
Oh yeah,
I'm not mad at what he did. It was just the way he presented himself to me, and like I don't think anybody else should not like. I'm sure.
Hey man, I'm Mike Dyer.
Look, if you're watching this, Mike, you fucking hate me, my guy. That's fine. That's fine. Like it's not a big deal. But like, it was just. It just seemed goofy, the whole thing. But it was like early Facebook.
Oh yeah,
early
even MySpace.
People didn't really know how to handle themselves online at all, and it wasn't. They weren't the finely tuned machines.
I am in message boards being a thing back then.
Well, I mean, what I don't know if you guys ever used the hardcore board. The hardcore board was a fucking nightmare. Yeah, like all those guys, that shit was wild.
I wish we still had those, because now everybody just goes all fucking AWOL and not AWOL, but they could just they run amok now, and it's just now that instead of using like those groups to like hammer down and talk shit about people, now they just do it. They just like, yeah, I'm gonna put this post out and talk shit. Like But it used to be like that. It used to be in the groups is where all the fucking rowdy,
I want it
crazy shit went
concentrated
down.
like it used to be. Like I want to be able to go and be like, no, these are all music people. I'm going to talk shit about music stuff instead of just the general
Yeah.
Mhm.
whatever. But
The curtain needs to be there.
yes, I know. I try and stay away. I've
And that
canceled. I've
was
gotten
the
rid of
good
all of
thing
my
about
social
it
media
back
except for
then.
Facebook. I try to stay away from it. I try real hard to not argue with people, and I've also stopped paying attention to politics. I have no real reason to be mad. If you see me mad about politics, it's because somebody weaseled it into my view, and
same.
I accidentally saw it.
Mhm.
It just doesn't matter anymore. I just try to go to work.
Yeah, Nick and I are both people that do not watch the news. So
Yeah, I
that's fair,
bailed on
right?
it.
You don't watch
Yeah,
it. Yeah.
no.
Yeah, I've bailed on it's just the problems that need to be fixed. Nobody's arguing about those. So what's the fucking point? I'm tired of arguing about the same stuff, and they just come up with new ways to argue about it. So I mean, and none of it's getting solved because if we solve it, then we don't really need the politicians anymore. So
Mhm.
it's the same shit until we figure out a way to get like full bellies and like warm beds for everybody. And fuck off, I don't really care.
So,
I just want to. I'm trying to talk my wife into buying a mountain in eastern Kentucky and just disappearing.
I think
Hell
the
yeah.
thing for me is like right after, I guess 2 elections ago, I think I was super stressed about it, and I just thought like all hell was about to break loose.
Yeah.
And then like as I'm like at this kind of like point of just super anxiety over it at work thinking about it, and I was like, uh inside of real life, if I turned off the TV, if I wasn't paying attention to the news and the topics of all this, like people aren't actually sitting here talking about it and foaming at the mouth at each other. People in general are trying to have a pleasant exchange with you in your, work
Right.
life, whatever. People are trying to just like get on with their day, and we're trying to not ruffle each other's
Right.
feathers and whatnot. This shit is not in the forefront of your just everyday 9 to 5 work life, whatever. People just try to get along the best they can, I feel like.
If
And
social
so I
media,
kind of was like, I want to bubble up and just kind of be in life. But
right.
anything that I can't have any control, the shit happening in other countries or other, like I just don't pay attention. It's not my
I think
the people around me are the people that
I think I
matter
just
and
ran out
whatnot.
of juice because like a lot of this stuff does affect me, but
Mhm.
no one's trying to fix it. They make up problems and then they try to fix the made up problems, but like no one's trying to fix like the actual issues, and that's on both sides. And 2
Absolutely.
elections ago, the unnamed became president, and I was like, oh my god, like people are gonna finally see how terrible this stuff is. And then I realized, no, they're just gonna let it keep happening because like nobody really cares. Like none of this really matters. They're just excited because they got more shit to argue about to get me upset, to get me to donate, which I don't donate money to politicians. It's fucking insane. Just don't do that. But like, it's all become like they sell merch and shit, like I was really into like this progressive politician, and then she tried to sell me a fucking t-shirt like she's a band. Like,
Mhm.
you're not a pro wrestler, you're a fucking politician. Why are you trying to sell merch? That's fucking nuts. So it's whatever. They're not going to change the things that I need changed or want changed, so why fucking worry about it?
Okay. This just kind of hit me, and I've been holding on to it. If people acted the way that they do on social media in real life, you'd be at Walmart in the self checkout line with 15 people ahead of you, and like the third person ahead of you pulls up this fucking cardboard thing, and it says something about Biden, and then rah, 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 and then
Right.
the person six people ahead of them pulls up something, and it says something blah 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 Trump. It's like you don't do that at Walmart. You don't do that in public. People are just living their lives and not giving a fuck about you. You know what I mean? But social media, people just want to go on there and be like, hold up their sign, like "fuck you."
Here's my
Silly.
thing is that like people are dying to have a personality, and so Facebook happens, social media happens, and you see like your interesting friends, the people you went to high school with that are interesting, and you're like, well, shit, I'm not really doing anything, so I'm dying to find something that can be my personality. And then like some poor people just found like YouTube videos about flat Earth, and that's my personality now. It's like, no, you don't have to do that. Michelle, you could have took up fucking macrame and had a page and sold me fucking shit. I don't know what macrame is, I don't think. But like you could have done so many things and made that your personality and didn't have to be I'm a fucking lunatic that gets, frothy mouthed about politics. But it's what it is. I just wish people could find a way to be comfortable being themselves. I think that would solve a lot of our problems instead of being mad over like I'm so confused about being mad about like who people have sex with. I like sucking dicks is fine with me. I don't care. I don't want to suck a dick, but like dick sucking's pretty cool, I guess. Like, get the fuck out of here. Why are you mad about that shit? That just doesn't make any sense to me.
It is
I've also
ridiculous.
developed some crazy ideas about Jesus. I'm gonna spare you guys on that shit. But like it's just like
Does it involve the Roman Empire?
no, I don't think about the Roman Empire at all. And look, I don't trust most of you men that think about the Roman Empire to be smart enough to know what the fuck you're thinking about. All right. So here I am getting heat again, but I think you're thinking about dumb shit. Let's talk about the brothers Grokkai, and then we'll talk about some Roman Empire shit. But nonetheless, I don't know. I just if people could find a way to be happy being them, then maybe they wouldn't have to find a way to be miserable so they could get heat all the time on the internet. It's politics of my religion. Thank you, Nate. Nate, I don't believe politics are your religion. I think Danzig is your religion, if I'm not wrong. But,
since we're addressing the comments, can I say real quickly that yes, I remember Catmandu.
Oh yeah,
Very vaguely,
yeah.
but it had been out there for a minute.
Oh, sorry.
No, okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to steer the conversation.
Yeah,
no. Terrible shit. But no, being in Giraffe Eating Lions was the favorite thing that I ever did ever.
Is there a show that stands out to you more than any other?
Well, I memean, they're all crazy for different reasons. We played on election night one year, which was super dumb. The night that the 6'8" heavy metal drummer guy said I had a little dick will always stand out as being super funny. The punk rock guy that wanted to punch me in the face over the picture of him eating a foot-long hot dog was always super. I didn't even do that. If you're the punk rock guy that's still mad about that, like I didn't even do that shit, but it was super fun. I wasn't gonna say I didn't do it. That's for certain. The night I was talking to you, when they gave us that punk rock night award. And I was like, this is dumb. There ain't no way they're gonna look the Zero Boys. They're gonna give us a punk rock night award over the Zero Boys. And then they announced, and I was just like, oh shit. Well, and I went up and was like, no, I just want to thank 3 people. Thank you, 3 people. The rest of you guys can suck my dick. And everyone's just like, and it's like, no, man, like I just like upsetting people. I can't help it. Anytime we made you mad, the lady that said that I was wasting my life away at the Melody Inn that night and was like, my daughter's got cancer. It's my 40th birthday and I'm watching you on stage not appreciate the life God gave you. And it was like, oh, hold on. I'm really going to like this, but you got to give me a second to let the adrenaline go down. And then by the end of it, she was like getting my opinion on like how to deal with your family, like your loved one being sick. Cause like, I'm just a regular person.
Mm-hmm.
I just like to act like a fucking lunatic for like 45-minute intervals every once in a while,
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
You talk about making people angry, and I have to admit that you did make me angry once.
That tracks.
With Giraffe Eating Songs, because I thought there was an album coming out.
Well,
and it never.
So we just had some issues, and it never did come. It's out there. Like I could probably send you the files if you want to listen to them. It just kind of drug on, and by the time we had it and we were happy with it, like moment had kind of passed, Look, yeah, this is what it was. It sounded good. I like listening to it now, but to me, we were like a live thing, the music, and I always thought the music was good.
The EP was awesome.
I was always offended when people were like, you make me think of Gigi Allen. I was like, nah, man, like my band's good. These guys are really good. I'm the garbage. Like these guys are actually really solid. You could tell them anything. They're like a computer. You would feed it in and they would feed it right back to you. And it was like, oh, it's so fantastic. One time I was like, I want a song that sounds like I'm running down a hallway about to get murdered. And like 4 days later, they're like, here's the song. And it was perfect. Like those guys were so good.
Oh yeah.
I was just the garbage. Like my whole thing was just to get you to pay attention. Those guys were jamming.
Yeah, I distinctly remember a few times standing there watching Brandon play bass or Justin playing his guitar and being like, God damn, these motherfuckers.
The song
killers."
DNR was a banger, man. Like,
Yeah.
that recording.
Oh,
was
definitely.
fucking,
The thing, and then
in
he
that
played that
video, it
riff
was cool.
the very first night we all got together. The first night I met those guys, Justin Avery was like, "Oh, we got this riff. Check it out." And he played it, and it was like, "Oh, well, that's a thing." Like I'm not sure how to do that, but that's clearly a thing. And then we kind of just based an entire band off of. That's a band based off of 4 dudes that were 14 in 1994, and the shit that was happening in 1994, and we just kind of all stayed in that head state.
Mhm.
What happens when those guys are dads later, and giraffes happen. Then I took my clothes off for whatever dumb reason and did that shit, and then that became like a whole fucking thing. But my favorite, not my favorite, but the one that stands out the most. So my friend Dumpling dies, and we go to Rich, and it's like, well, we got to do something for her to make some money, funeral or whatever. And Rich is like, well, we got these guys on the bill already, and you guys can have the rest of the night. So it's like us. And when they were doing the Prince band, remember the Prince band, Banbury and Dirty Doug and Nicole.
I do remember that.
And they were on the bill, and I don't remember who else was on the bill, but so I start looking up the band that was already on the bill, and they're like fucking fascists. They were like, we wouldn't sell our merch to gay people and shit. And and that just rubbed me so far the wrong way. So anyway, the night of the show, we go to a soccer game, and I get soccer game drunk, and then we show up, and I'm super sad because my friend died, and I spend that entire show. You can find videos of this on the internet, but at one point,
this is a favorite memory.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite memories. Oh, easily one of my favorite memories. So we made those 2 people leave the Melody Inn because I fake blued Brandon in the middle of one of the songs, like right in front of him. So I kept telling the one guy who was like, I'm not going to sell my shirts. Northeastern Indiana heavy metal band. I don't remember your name. But they're like, we're not going to sell our shirts to gay people. So the whole night I'm like, I'm going to suck your cock after the show. You're the one.
I remember this show.
Yeah. I fake blow Brandon, and then those 2 girls got up and walked out, and I followed them out the door and was like, thank you for your money. That to me was like the ultimate giraffe show because it was all over the place, and it was super emotional, and it was like that shit was heavy. I felt like every giraffe show should have been heavy. I think you guys just thought I was up there acting like an asshole. But it meant a lot to me. I'm delicate. I'm a flower.
I didn't think you were an asshole, just kind of a son of a bitch.
Probably both. I mean,
that's a Royal Tenenbaums quote.
I don't remember. I remember the movie, but I don't remember the quote. But no,
Danny Glover says it to Gene Hackman towards the end of it.
Tracks.
Anyway,
but
sorry.
No,
which movie?
Royal Tenenbaums.
All right. I just don't remember that.
I always cry at the end of that movie.
Really?
Yeah. There's a father-son moment that gets me.
If I can get to it without falling asleep, I'll watch it again. So I'll probably never watch it again. I don't know. It's all right. It's all right. But yeah, man, I had literally, I think I still have a mental image of you fake blowing Brandon on stage, like a screenshot in my head, like.
That's one of the few videos that's still on YouTube. Look up giraffe hitting lions. There's a video, like people will be like, "Oh, you were in a band." People I work with, like, "Oh, you were in a band. Can I look it up?" I'm like, nah, you sure cannot look them up. Obscene Rights. I don't believe it was Necro Demon. If you know me, Obscene Rights, I'll post it to my Facebook later because I love starting shits. I miss it. I miss it. I want to start a fake band just so I could be a part of things and make people mad about stuff. But yeah, no, like it was always a good time for me, Like I said, the one guy was super mad about the picture of him eating the hot dog, and he was like, "I know it was you," and it wasn't me, but I was never gonna tell him it wasn't me. I guess until now, because that shit made me laugh so fucking hard.
What I have to ask this because I've always wanted to know, where does the name Giraffe Eating Lions come from?
Justin Avery had a dream, and there was giraffes eating lions. That's I got. I wish I had. It was like a metaphor for penises, I think. I don't know. None of that. It was just a dream that Justin. So that was Justin Avery's band. He played guitar in Apostle of Solitude and wrote these songs on the side, and was like just doing that stuff on the side. And then he got with Brandon, and Chrissy Arnold, rest in peace, Chrissy. And they were kind of doing this thing, and I answered an ad on the indie hardcore board about a band that was somewhere between Husker Du and fucking the Jesus Lizard, which was probably a fantastic description of what we ended up doing. But yeah, and then I met those guys, and like they're people I still try and spend as much time with as I can. I love those guys. Rob Lemon too, who was the drummer later. But yeah, so I I don't really know where the name came from other than Justin Avery's Psyche. You know, a lot of the well, most of the songs were all just like daylight savings. That was just Justin Avery being mad, I think, because he couldn't get time off because he had a kid. You know, and then we turned it into some whatever it was. Everything we did.
Is that's the one that had the video? You guys were like playing out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yeah, that was us. It was the least well put together video ever. Chrissy got drunk and passed out, so that's where at a point Chrissy becomes a scarecrow. We just took all Chrissy's clothes and dressed a scarecrow like Chrissy. We ate pizza and drank beer all day. Yeah, Brian Williams, who made the movie about killing
something to kill.
Time to Kill.
Time to Kill, yeah.
Yeah, he made that video for us. And the idea was that the band was make believe. They weren't really there. They were in my head, and I was just at work doing rock and roll shit while I worked, which is not real far from my real life. I'm the hood mailman out doing rock and roll shit all day.
How many of your songs have amazing music videos to accompany them in your head?
In my head?
Yeah, that never like, you know, I guess for me it's like I think of so many of our songs for Tight Like a Tiger especially, and I have in my head this music video that I always wanted to make for that fucking song.
It's all the things in my head would like perfectly fit on 120 minutes in like 1995. You know, the camera angles and stuff they use, but it's all just like dark and deep. Chrissy made the video for DNR one time that was just all stolen footage from like Russian propaganda videos. So we ended up getting a fan base in countries with a lot of communists, which was kind of wild. Somebody stole our information and made like a Russian Facebook page for us, which none of us were mad about. We thought it was super funny. Yeah, we thought it was super funny. But yeah, you know, I don't know. It's all like really dark stuff. The song topics were always like super dark. Like I was reading a book about H.H. Holmes. So that's where Pisseth comes from. It's just like being locked in a weird dark cage. That didn't even make sense. It didn't really like it didn't go with the theme. One song's about being mad at your boss, and the next song is about the collapse of capitalism in society, and then another's about being in a dark box where it's dark and boxy. Plus, like pisseth isn't a real word, I don't think, but it made us laugh. And that's another thing with giraffes. It was all just a big joke. All of it was none of it was serious. And the titles of the songs were just like shit that we found. Like cat baths was just on a whiteboard that the drummer put that he had to remember to give us cats baths. So like there was a song called Cat Baths. Sweet and Sour Kitten is probably racist, but it made us laugh so hard that like I'm embarrassed by how hard we laughed at that. So it became a song, you know. And then you know we always did that song, the beer gut stomp, that was just literally me improving, talking shit to whatever people like local musicians were there that night. So I just would freestyle, just talking shit. Whoever I didn't like that night, you know, I always didn't like somebody. That was the point, right? Get fired up. You got to get heat, man. It's hard to do that. It's hard to take off your clothes and pretend like you're trying to kill yourself for $8 and you know dollar beers after they took the free beers away. Dave, you took the beers away. But yeah, you know, the dollar beers and you know, I don't know. And we had a really good gig. I would follow the drummer's ex-wife. So the drummer would be like, "Hey, go and get me a drink," and then I would follow his ex-wife to the bar and be like, "Hey, Rob said." Get me a double crown on that too. So like I would stay pretty lit for free. And you know, I'm not a great drinker. I drink like a teenage girl anyway. So you add enough liquor in me and problems and like a 6'4" bodyguard that knew judo, that played bass and you know what I mean? Like I just felt free to do whatever I wanted to. So that was the whole jam. If you liked wrestling bad guys in the 80s, you probably like giraffes.
Yeah.
And most people were fucking marks for Hulk Hogan, so they didn't like giraffes.
Yeah. You were definitely the heel.
It tracks, I think, in a roundabout way. But you know, we always had fun. Like I said, Chrissy's video may or may not be on YouTube. It was like 100 years ago, Obscene Rights. Again, if you know me, drop me a line and I'll try and find it. It had like monsters popping up, and it was like a fallout shelter. It was super funny. Well, everything we did was like, it's just always just a joke. Everybody took it serious. That was kind of the funny thing, was people take shit too serious.
Mm-hmm.
It's a hobby.
Like people that grab meat.
Pardon? Oh my god. No, she didn't take, I mean, she probably took everything too serious, because I felt like she was on heavier drugs than I felt comfortable with. You know, that was she was wild.
Yeah, she was lit. She was so lit that night.
I think that's a good example of what it was like to have us show up at your show. The night that we played at the Rock House, and we did the Dead Kennedys thing with the S's and the dollar signs on our shirt and mess with that fucking guy. Like that was so fun. That guy thought he had us. We were like, "What was your favorite part?" And he was like, "The end." And he said that we were so loud that it made a girl sick and she had to leave. And I think we were supposed to be like, "Oh, dang, we should have fixed our levels," but we were all like, "Fuck yeah, we made her sick. We gave that girl vertigo. That's awesome." It's just
I made the mistake of looking up your Facebook page.
Oh, that's too bad.
And I'm like verifying information that you said as we're
fact checking.
What did I fuck up? Did I fuck up something?
No, but somebody definitely nailed the band that we were talking about earlier.
I'm interested. You piqued my interest.
Yeah, it was Necrodemon.
Oh, it was Necrodemon?
Fact.
Okay, I didn't think it was. Nice job, Obscene Rights. Yeah.
In a few short hours at the Future Dome, fucking mayhem. Yeah, this is good stuff. That's the show that you played with Daikaiju, Mr. Clit, and No Coast. I wasn't at that one. I'm trying to find your videos. I wanted to put a link.
Yeah, we played a lot of shows with Daikaiju when they started, like, they first came. We saw like their first show. We were in the audience for the first, when they put everybody on stage at the Volrath. And it was like, holy fucking shit, this is wild. So like, we were always super glad to play on bills with them. My favorite band to ever play was the Pink Cigarettes. Probably my favorite local band of all time. I still try and turn people onto them. They are those kids. To me, they were kids. I'll tell you, the first night we saw, when they played with Daikaiju, this was the same night that Daikaiju first came, and I watched a room full of gnarly punk rock guys be like, these girls, they look like teenage girls, and they got colorful hair, and their name's kind of goofy. I bet they're about to be a joke. And then it took about a song and a half, and I watched the whole room be like, holy fuck, they're so good. It's so fucking good. They were, I've never seen a band move me the way that the Pink Cigarettes always did. Love the Pink Cigarettes. And, you know, playing shows with your friends, the Dockers. Love the Dockers. I asked Amy to marry me at a Dockers show at the Casa. They played the week I got married. And just all the interesting, cool shit that was happening then. You know, that's when you guys kind of showed up. You didn't have to be punk rock. There wasn't like a uniform. There wasn't you could just be whatever and just show up and be loud and dumb. And it felt like there was a lot of people who were loud and dumb at that time that were having a lot of fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. So just a heads up, your YouTube has been taken down.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I found the videos, but when I clicked the videos, it said this count no longer. Just shucks.
Well,
I think the thing about Mr. Clit is I think about them, and not just like, it's not a local band in my head. Like their songs, they're everything about
they're
them.
Just a band.
They're just a band, and they're like right up there with my favorite bands ever, like Pixies and Nirvana and Mr. Clit. And
it's just weird to me because I still view them. I see them like on the internet doing like adult things that they're doing or whatever, and it's like, to me, they were just like those fucking kids, you know. Like we played like 6 shows in a row with them. We played 2 shows in the same night at 2 venues with them one time. It was like we're on some dumb tour of like the inner workings of 465 with this fucking band. But like we always had fun with the Pink Cigarettes. The night that I jumped into Davy's arms with a cigarette in my mouth and he caught me, and like I almost blinded that poor guy, but you know, he call me right out of the air like I
fucking
like fucking
everything.
Dirty Dancing, you know.
Yeah.
And we did a Misfits
They
cover.
love that in like improv
Yeah.
fucking moment feel too, you know.
Yeah, well, that was the Rock House. We did
They love that
we
shit.
covered Bullet by the Misfits
Mhm.
all together as one big weird awful band.
I would have loved to see that. I don't know if I made that one.
It was a good night. That was the night that man, Matthew MF Jackson. Were you guys part of the Matthew MF Jackson flame war that happened one night on Facebook where there was like 3,000 comments and man, he hated the absolute fuck out of me, man. That's a guy that thoroughly hated me, but he kept saying that we should play at the Rock House, the Melody Inn. You're never going to make any money at the Melody Inn, and no one had the heart to tell him that we're never going to make any money, no matter where the fuck we play at. The Melody was not the reason we weren't making money, my guy. We're a problem. So like finally, Lazy Hawk talked us into playing a show at the Rock House, and everyone should have known we were up to something when we agreed to do it. I talked so much shit to that guy, and then all of a sudden was like, "Oh yeah, we're definitely going to do that." So we showed up. He turned off. He killed. He mic'd all of our instruments, and we were like, "You don't have to do that. We're pretty loud. You know, you're not going to want to do that." And then we started playing, and he killed all of it. And he was like, well, "I killed all the mics, and you guys got louder." I was like, "Yeah, no, we could have told you that was going to happen. We're a bit of a problem. We're trying to ruin people's lives." But yeah, I come out and was like, everybody's got to get paid, right? So as soon as I started talking about getting paid, you had to know that there was an issue. But yeah, I started talking shit about the manager of the bar while he was sitting there watching me, and we were like, yeah, you know, like, fuck this place. Why would I play here? It's because I got to get paid because I'm a rock star. And then we all poured our ties around from the back, and we were wearing S's on our shirts with ties to make dollar signs, and we ripped off the dead Kennedys, and we were massive jerks. And then yeah, I took off all my clothes. But yeah, so I took off all my clothes at the Rock House, and Matthew MF Jackson talked about, I think he said I had a little dick and called me fat. And then, you know, one of the funnest days I ever had on the internet happened. He's like, "You don't know what a real woman looks like. You should see my wife. She's a stripper. She dances at Patty's." I was just like, "Bro, thank you so much. This is gonna go so good." But yeah, that was the night that I was like, "Oh, you know, your wife. So your wife would love me as much as she loves you for $5 a song." And it just kind of went from there. I met a bunch of bullies on the internet that I'm still friends with today because we all bullied that drunk guy that night. He kept trying to get me to give him my address, so we kept sending him the addresses to different White Castles. He was so pissed off. If you ever see me post a thing that's like, we need to suck more dog balls, that was a direct quote from him that night. That was just a non sequitur that he was trying to say that giraffes needed to suck more dog balls, and that's a thing that we would say, but he didn't like preface that. He just said it in the middle of a thread where he was talking bad about us. So like that went really well. He told me that I was poor and I wasn't as successful as him because he had a Samsung Galaxy S3, I believe, and a 2008 Monte Carlo, which to this day is still like, there's certain people I'll see that I've not seen in a long time, and they'll be like, "I'm gonna melt your face off my fist and my Monte Carlo pussy fist," and it's like, no, that's still a thing that happens from that. That was such a good day. Yeah. If you ever argue with me on the internet, I remember it. I remember all of it. I remember every single thing you said to me and why I was mad at you that day. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to most of you, not all of you, some of you, most of you. That's my bad. I get mad about. My mom taught me this thing. We'll call it displaced aggression, where you get mad at one thing and you can't. So my kids think it's funny that I'll get mad, like my wife will do something silly and I'll get mad at it for no reason because I heat up too fast, and then I'll have to like go drive around and yell shit at strangers to get the heat off. Yeah, my kids are like, "Oh shit, mom, you know, did something silly, and dad's gonna go to Walmart and be mean to strangers for a half hour." That's how I'm not mean to you on the internet anymore. Facebook friends, all 11 of you that have stuck with me. But yeah, you know, everybody's got to have a thing. That's my thing. Giraffes stopped doing stuff. It kind of ran its course, and then I kind of just ran out of places to put my aggression. I think that's why I was so mean to people on the internet for so long. So I just didn't really have like an outlet.
Different outlet.
Yeah, you know. But like I get it. Like I'm kind of hard to get along with. I'm a little rough around the edges. Probably some unchecked mental illness in there. You know, I got really good insurance. I just am not a big fan of
using it.
well, yeah, that mostly that I burned up a lot to trying to fix my neck, so I don't really got time for a psychiatrist and stuff. There's a thing through the post office. It's EAP that you can just call and they'll give you a psychiatrist for free. But I'm not doing that shit either.
So where do you keep all the Donald Trump ballots? Is it you keep them
I
in your
definitely have all of
garage
them.
or?
No, well, look, it's not so much that I took all the Donald Trump. It's that I voted 178,000 times that day. I don't know. You know that there's a local guy. We all know him, and he was convinced that his family was going to stop being awful the second Joe Biden won the election. And I just wish I could have been there when he looked and was like, "Oh my God, my grandma's still fucking awful." Like, Donald Trump isn't the problem. Donald Trump unlocked her awful, but she's just gonna be fucking awful now. Biden's not gonna fucking fix this, you know. Like it's whatever, you know. It gave people personality, you know.
Yeah.
A lot of people are too into the Colts.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are too into Kiss, and some people got too into fucking Donald Trump, man. You know,
Yeah.
and I watch the same stuff happen with Joe Biden, and it's all silly. Like I don't want to suck any politician.
I'm a Bill Hicks guy. Puppet on the left, puppet on the right.
What's all this scam?
You know, the nut has a left wing and a right wing, but it's still the same nut. Yeah. But for me, it's a little more personal with that guy. It has nothing to do with politics. It's more like I just hate that guy.
Well,
I'm like hipster hater.
People don't understand. So, like, I learned to read by reading the National Enquirer.
Oh, that's fantastic.
80s, okay, like my grandma got it every week, and that's really
Bat Boy.
Well, no. The Enquirer was more like celebrities. Bat Boy was like the Weekly World News.
Okay,
so this was more like I learned about like Liberace and when Robert Reed died and like all of the like celebrities and the stuff that happened in the 80s with their like I know a lot about Barbara Streisand's husbands for some reason, you know, because I read the Enquirer, but Donald Trump was like really famous just for being like a fucking rich guy in New York because everybody it's always New York and LA all the time, but like so the guy's been famous. He's been like a character in my personal zeitgeist for fucking ever. And then all of a sudden, like the people are like, no, he's like a legit person that could be president. And it's like, but no. He did Pizza Hut commercials, guys. Like he got a Stone Cold Stunner one time. Like he's not, no, this isn't real. And then
You're fired.
Yeah, it just kept being realer and realer. And then one day it was like, it was really real.
And I did not sleep that night.
Oh, well, I mean, I did. There was a point where I was just
I might have slept like 2 hours.
I felt like I just watched America and look, it's a slow burn to where I think it's taking us. But like, you know, you just felt like you watched it all kind of fall apart and people become the worst version of themselves overnight. And the people that wanted to be awful, they all became awful and they don't hide it anymore. And that's fine. I'm awful. I am too awful in my own awful way. But like, it felt like, I don't know, we lost decorum. I got into it with a guy during that time that was like, I should be able to say the big words, the big racist, awful words, because they're just words. And I was like, well, okay. Words do mean things and they hurt people.
They matter.
Like, and he's like, no, they're just words. And I was like, well, that's fine. So you're not going to mind if I call your niece the R word. And we don't use that word in my house. And I would never use that word, but I used it then and was like, so I can say this about her. And he got super mad. And I'm like, but wait, words don't mean anything. Why can't I say this about her? But you know, you can say these other words about other people. And people just don't get it. They don't want to see
maybe if people, I don't know, paid a little bit more attention to science, it's actually proven that words do matter. The word matter in itself, it changes the environment. They've done tests where people, scientists have literally talked to plants every day, and the plants that they would talk, I love you and you're amazing. And then the plants that they would be like, you're a piece of shit. I fucking hate you. Over and over again, and it's the same result every time. The plants that are talked to lovingly and kindly grow and do well, and the plants that are talked to negatively,
vote Republican,
fucking die. And it's there's a stuff going on right now, and I made a comment last night, and I meant that comment. Like, words matter. What you say, it completely changes your environment, and it changes you. That's why, I always say, like, you are what you think about, keep it positive, whatever. But all right, that's enough about my fucking.
Well, it's just a lot of people lost like the nuance that it takes to like dance around these subjects, and they don't want the nuance. It's not that, I mean, I guess they probably didn't lose it. It's people that never had it that stayed out of arguments. Remember when we had things like old fashioned like shame? Remember shame when people were like, "Oh, I don't know this. I better stay out of the conversation," instead of just I'm going to go into it with both barrels because why do I need to know this? And how many guys did you go to school with that were like, oh, I don't need to know about history. That shit already happened. And now they're like constitutional law scholars on the internet because they watch some fucking YouTube videos. And it's like, no, my guy, like, I know you're an idiot. Like, you can't have, I don't know. Every day I'm against democracy, I think. People shouldn't have any control at all. I think I'm probably the only person that should have control.
So you heard it here first. Dustin Parks for president, 2024.
I am a felon, so I'm not allowed to run.
That's all right. We'll hit up Hillary Clinton. We'll get something worked out.
Oh my God! Don't do it. So why would you want me to be mad
I'm
about
kidding.
that?
I would not hit up the boss. All right.
Well, I mean, they're all the same person. Joe Biden is actually just Donald Trump. He had a plastic surgery. I watched a YouTube.
It's like Face Off.
Oh my God. I'm ashamed at how often I reference Face Off in my regular life, where I'll just be like, I want to take your face off. And my kids have no idea. My kids are just like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? And it's like, I could eat a peach for days or whatever the fuck it is. And he says, I don't know. I'm just trying to be gross. But and 90s movies, right? I don't watch movies anymore, but I feel like we peaked already. Why do I need to watch more? I saw Cinema Woman. It doesn't get any better than that.
Hell yeah. That's Al Pacino and what's his name? Oh, it's slipping. I know his name. Christopher
O'Donnell.
Chris O'Donnell, yeah.
Chris O'Donnell, that's right.
Robin,
yeah.
Robin.
Oh yeah. Was that Batman Forever? No, Batman.
It was
and Robin.
Batman Forever and Batman.
One too many Batmans.
Yeah. It's still one of those things to me that's like an enigma in my head, like no pun intended. Because
it was an Edward enigma in your head.
Man,
I loved that movie.
Which one? Forever?
I mean, honestly, I think Returns is one of the best superhero movies, period. Ever.
So dark.
I thought it was fucking awesome.
First one,
but
to
then
me,
Forever came out and it was so bright, and you got Riddler, and I was just so into Batman anyways, and so. But yeah,
that was like a really prime area for me. My parents had just gotten divorced, so they were both like vying for my attention. So every time one of those movies would come out, we'd go and see that shit like the first night. So like, there's a real sweet spot for me where my parents hated each other and their lives were falling apart. But I got to see all the fucking first run movies like the first night. My dad took me out of school so I could be the first person to see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie in Anderson.
Hell yeah.
We were in the first showing at like noon. My dad's like, nah, he's sick. He's coming with me. My mom was so mad. It was such a good contest.
So
I feel like I went and saw the second one, Secret of the Ooze, like probably in the double digits at the local theater.
My problem with that one is I'd kind of aged out of the Ninja Turtles by the time that one comes around, and it was just like, oh, that's cheese dick. But to tie it all together, we watched the new Ninja Turtles movie today, the Mutant Mayhem. Not bad. I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I've heard great things. I haven't watched
it yet. Seth Rogen and John Cena. I expected it to be a little cheese dick, and it wasn't so much. I'm old, so I didn't really get a lot of the topical references. I understand I'm probably not the target audience. I'm probably not the demographic they're after, but it was pretty good for something from nostalgia that I'm supposed to hate nostalgia. I actually really enjoyed that.
Earlier you were talking about how when you would do booking, you would just email people, and what you just said reminded me of something I wanted to say. And I was like, by the way, for anybody under the age of 21, an email is what we used to use before there were texts.
Oh my God. Yeah.
In case you were unaware.
Rest in peace, Bob Fouts. Bob Fouts had an email, or he might have an email account out there somewhere that still has an email where I messaged him one night after I ate some Ambien to go to sleep and didn't go to sleep and just rambled on. And it begins and ends with, I would like to book a show on this day at the 5th quarter. And in the middle was also, I'm on drugs and my brain stopped working a couple times, and it just kind of rambled on. But yeah, that's how I got shows. Like, what are you going to do? we got lucky. We were on a show with Bullet Wolf and the Dockers. And
Hell yeah.
that was the first show. Sam and Rip asked us if we wanted to play our first show with them at locals only. And, we were terrible. I didn't know what the fuck to do. I just stood there like a jackass. It wasn't a couple shows before. We played with a math band from Nashville, and they were all young. They were too young to get into the Volrath. And we booked them on St. Patrick's Day, and they showed up and they went crazy. And I was like, well, shit, we're playing after that. I guess I got to act like a lunatic. And
the rest is history.
And that worked. Mona got up and danced with us, and I was like, oh, shit, people kind of like that. The songs were jams. I just hadn't really felt it out yet.
So. God, man, the Volrath Tavern.
Yeah, the Volrath. We had our wedding party there, and then it was gone immediately. Chrissy Arnold got punched by a Nazi in the parking lot. That was wild. That was my wedding. Oh, wait, that wasn't my wedding. That was, we did the thing to raise money to fight skin cancer, and we picked a fight with cancer, and then Chrissy got punched by a Nazi. Obviously, Nazis are on the side of skin cancer. Being in giraffes was always a big dumb story. There was always something. Somebody was always mad.
I think, and it would make it Shep's first show with us.
Yeah, it was at Volrath.
It was at the Volrath because it's I remember specifically it's the one time we played as a 4-piece because Chris was still there. And so
yeah, that's right.
It was a nice place. I liked the place. It had a nice vibe.
And we used to play with Room 21 there.
Room 21.
And that is what basically then became
back when Abby had to wait outside to come in and play. Yeah. Back in the day. God dang. Yeah.
There were good times. We saw somebody get into an argument across the street and throw an acoustic guitar out the window at someone else, which was super fun. It was a nice place to be. It had a real great vibe. I don't know. We always liked it there. So we had our wedding party there. It was nice. The belligerent Bendejos played, and the Dockers, and the Vibrolas came up from Kentucky and played.
Yeah, it just made me think of it was a Will Woodrow booked the show. Was it Will? I think it was Will.
He's the bass player guy, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I got a great story about him
too. He was either booked it, but he was for sure running sound that night. But it's actually on the wall over there. It was Fiber, Free Smut, Levy Lee, fucking Pigtail Crooks. Yeah, that was the band I played guitar in, and I can't read the top one, but whatever. Man, all the different venues that used to live and breathe in this music scene they just all fucking disappear eventually.
Well, it's not a cheap thing to do. And, you're giving people that you already know aren't gonna sell beer, and they're not gonna bring people a chance. You can only push it so far. But Will Woodrow, that guy, we played the Bass Masters show at the Punk Rock Night, and it was going to be all the great bass players, right? And before we played, he come up to me and he says, "Hey, I got to use that microphone later. Don't put it in your ass." So we played before them. So immediately the first thing I did was take my pants off and stick the microphone between my butt cheeks. First fucking thing. There was no way I wasn't going to do that shit. But yeah, I'll never forget that. Hey, I got to use that later. Don't put it in your ass. It's going directly in my ass cheek. Yeah, that was a good night. I hadn't thought about that guy's name in a long time. That's it though. Every draft show had like some weird, this guy wants to fight me again. Here we go again. But it's probably my fault. I think I'm probably
the common denominator.
Yeah, the one that's it's crazy. Everybody wants to punch me in the face. It must be everybody else. But it's what it is. Like I said, I liked bands that were doing their own thing, that were out there, that was something interesting. A band, and they might not even be a band anymore, but like a more recent band that I really liked was the Pilots. Those guys were doing.
They're playing the Punk Rock Night Awards show here.
Most interesting shit. Like I would watch the live feed when they'd play Punk Rock Night and watch that shit. And like those guys are they're kind of on their own plane. They're doing their own thing. Hey. But no, I like that shit. To me, that's punk rock, not the. Do we really need another angry white guy that's like middle aged yelling about whatever? You'll see a guy my age yell about his parents. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I've got real gripes with my parents, but none of them are gonna make good punk rock songs. You know what I mean? Mom, Netflix isn't that hard isn't going to be a song you want to listen to, you know. It just gets kind of cheesy. Like I said, you guys were rock and roll to me. You guys weren't really punk rock.
I feel like the band I'm in, Republican Sex Blanket.
That's right. Yeah.
Kind of.
I was gonna say, like,
all right, so
we're
maybe
pretty-
that's
middle-aged
more-
white dudes that sing about
Uh,
Freddy Krueger or
yeah.
Jason, because that's what
Well,
I do.
I'll take
one of the
that.
bands I sing in.
That is like a thing, you know. Like at least you're not like I'm still mad about the same stuff I was always mad about, you know. Or like punk rock bands that don't like sing about anything. I don't know. Like you got a stage. We're gonna give you a microphone. Yell, be mad about something.
I think with like a Tiger / Fiber, my thought process in songwriting, which it was basically always to be the heaviest pop rock band that we could be.
You guys seem like you were mad at your livers. What the vibe? Like, I'm mad about politics. Those guys are mad at themselves. I think. Like, I don't know. It seems like they might be onto something. It's just like it's rock and roll. You guys are like a good time, you know. And like I kind of struggled with some of the good time stuff. The guys that did the hair metal thing there for a while.
Oh, you're talking about Stackhouse.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah, my boss, by the way, at work is the drummer from Stackhouse.
Woof. I'm sorry, guys.
Woof.
Yeah, I know. We tried. One of my favorite pictures all the time is me in my underwear and those two girls that were there with Stackhouse, like meat gazing. I could have been hanging that much meat, guys. We've all seen me in my underwear. I don't know what they were just going so hard at my dick meat. And then somebody made a picture of it with arrows going from their eyes to my dick. So like that was always super funny to me. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't get it. Like that, it just didn't make sense to me. Like
they were fun.
I don't. I mean, fun to me is not that. You know, fun to me is like see, and I hated that. I loved when Nirvana showed up and got rid of all of that. So like to me, it was like, oh, cool, you're bringing back the thing that like I hate the fucking most. My mom took me. So it's not true. The Easter Bunny brought me tickets to see Bon Jovi and Skid Row in like 1988. And I remember being the whole time just being like, why don't these guys have shirts on? What the fuck? This sucks. I don't like this shit at all.
Why are they wearing better makeup than my sister?
Well, none of them have shirts on. One of them's wearing a vest. I don't really like it. Why is he upside down? What the fuck is going on? I didn't like Skid Row. I really made me not like Bon Jovi. It made me really not like any of that music. And then just so happened not that long later, as I become a teenager, like grunge happened, and a lot of like noisy punk rock moved from. It had like a resurgence, but it wasn't punk rock anymore. It was like these like weird noisy bands, and you know, and then I lived in a terrible place, so like I got very little music. You had to drive miles to get to a record store that sometimes had good shit. I envy people that grew up where you could go to like a real record store and like get stuff. We had A1 records. We had a Karma, but we had A1 records, and Nick would, you know, suggest things you never heard of. Here, you seem really angry and over the top. You might listen to the Jesus Lizard and try these things, you know. And we were fortunate to have that, but we didn't have anything cool or fun. It was terrible. I went to school. I graduated with like 65 people. This shit's terrible. We had Tractor Day once a year.
You and me both, man. I was like 80.
Yeah,
Lebanon had Tractor Day.
Lebanon. But my closest to Lebanon story is I got to meet Rick Mount one time. That guy was boring as you know what I mean. That guy is a mayonnaise sandwich on white bread with a tall glass of milk. I'm like, oh man, that's Rick Mount. And it was like I wanted to actively be done talking to Rick Mount when I met Rick Mount. Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't know, man. You know, like I don't know why I'm like that. Like I like to stir shit. I'm a natural born heat seeker.
See, I think we're all at the same age where I'm pretty much in the same boat musically. I never got into the hair metal. I would even to this day dare say like the only band that I have actually listened to in that genre is Twisted Sister. And even that, like it's just not. It's not.
I don't think Venom is hair metal. I really like Evil in League with Satan by Venom is like the only 80s metal shit that I let fly. I really like finding Iron Maiden fans and telling them that I don't like Iron Maiden, that it's all like cheesy classical music with guitars, and then I'm telling him Eddie's dumb, and then going to Judas Priest fans and being like, no, Judas Priest sucks. Actually, I like Iron Maiden.
Wait,
and,
does
like watching them all be mad.
Does Ozzy Osbourne count as hair metal? Hold on.
I mean, look, he did Sabbath.
Yeah, but that was
and
not,
that was cool.
That was definitely
everything
not
after
Ozzy.
Sabbath is kind of trash. I'll always remember the guy I worked with being like, "Do you like Black Sabbath?" I'm like, "Fuck yeah, I do." Bring some Sabbath to listen to, and then the next day he brought the new Ozzy record. Was like, "Well, this isn't Sabbath, you son of a bitch! Like, what the hell? What'd you do this for?" But I don't just like the '80s is so fucking cheesy. But we're actually, at least you, like, we're in this weird age where like there was hair metal, and then like grunge Nirvana kind of happens, and then the rap rock, like everything changes. So there's like there's this very short window of these guys that were like 14 years old in 1994 is how I always describe it. And like we are not like anybody else. Like we're not like the slackers before us, and we weren't like the Limp Biscuit esque whatever was happening after us. There's just like a generation of like 3 years of guys that we're all just like this. Like it was supposed to be cool to be a loser.
How old are you, Dustin?
I am 43.
Yeah,
2023. I'm 43. I was born in 1980.
So are you, right, Nick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah, I'm 40. So you guys are seniors.
So he's all about Limp Bizkit.
All about it, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, like literally, like going right into high school. I was already like, I was in line at Target picking up Significant Other.
I found
the day it fucking came out.
The real hard line, and maybe you'll prove this to be wrong, but I found the hard line band that really separates people from that immediate era was 311. And a lot of people really got into 311, and I did not.
I did not.
I'll never forget like my best friend growing up showing up with a 311 CD and being like, this is the jam, and he played it and just being like, we can't be friends. Like, oh my god, we're so different. I had no idea, and that was the first time I was just like, oh shit, I don't think I like it. And that's not the first time, because he did like Ace of Base when that shit was happening, like 1992, and like the Chronic drops, and it's like, no, this shit. Oh, fuck, I keep doing that. This shit bangs. You know, the Chronic is it. And then like his parents wouldn't let him listen to anything with like profanity. So he's like, "What have you tried? Let's talk about sex with Salt and Pepper or Ace of Base." And it's just like, oh Lord in heaven, no. I mean, why would I try that? That's terrible. That's not okay. And he really liked the Robin Hood song from Bryan Adams. So that should have been a sign that like our relationship was gonna come to a violent end or something, right? But yeah, no, I didn't really get into like the groovy. I liked it when people were like, when it was okay to be like dirty and kind of look like you were dangerous. Like when people used heroin and you didn't act like it was like a bad thing. And it was like, I liked those guys. Like Kurt Cobain to me was like perfect, because he looked like he didn't care. He wasn't trying. He was just wearing dirty clothes that looked like he bought at the fucking Goodwill and didn't wash. And like, that was my vibe. That's still my fucking vibe.
Did you like the thing to me is where it's
like,
now one of the things I say the most about shit that I see, and it can be things, and I try really hard to like things, but like most shit doesn't it. I'm like, Shania, that don't impress me much, but I do give credit where it's due, and I see what people are trying to do, but it's like,
I can appreciate it, but I don't like it. It's not like a thing that happens for me. I listen to
I say try hard a lot. And so when something comes off to me as like, especially like the thing that I try not to do is write myself into a genre, so to speak.
I can speak to that.
For sure. So when I see something that is super genre specific or whatever, where, I mean, be it, pop punk even, or metal or whatever. And it's so like, we've got to hit these notes because we're this kind of band kind of thing. And
the formulaic stuff, that's
and it's not to say I don't have a formula, but it is, I try to not, so I don't know. But when I see that shit, or I just think something's try hard, it turns me off.
I think that's why I can't do music again, and I want to just be with those guys to do music. Is like what I like and what I want to do changes so much. Like right now, I want to do hillbilly Appalachian songs about killing the guy that owns the coal mine. what? Why? But that's all I want to listen to. That's my whole thing. I'm listening to like Appalachian throat singers sing about coal mines and shit. And it's like nobody wants to do that. There's no market for that. And like it'll change again, and before too long I'll only want to listen to Motown, or it'll all be weird Swedish noise rock band. It's I can't sit still. I can't, and like there's no formula. But Sublime. I really liked Sublime when I was a fucking 16-year-old kid that liked to do bong rips and wear tank tops. And the problem I have with Sublime now is their fan base kind of became the the people that I didn't like when I liked Sublime.
Hashtag hot topic.
Well, I'm not even like Hot Topic. Like those people, like it's like being a hippie. It's like the our generation's version of being a hippie is that, like I smoke weed and I got dreads and I still wear like Gene Co adjacent pants and I really like is Dirty Heads, is that right? They're Sublime
That sounds
adjacent.
Yeah.
familiar.
Yeah, and like I really just like this kind of, and it's like it was cool. And then the guy, like, he was dead. So you only had
Yeah.
like the 30 songs that you were ever gonna get, and then like the time should have passed. And then it's you still just gotta deal with these dudes that are like our age now that are like, I got a pit bull named Ruka. Like, shut up. Fuck, man. That shit it was over. It was over in 1997. Why are we still having to fucking deal with this
Yeah.
shit?
Yeah. So for me, like I didn't even
But
know
you
who
could
they
say
were
that
until
about
'99.
You could say
He
that
was
about
done
Nirvana,
dead.
man. In
And,
the same thing, in the same
And you're not wrong.
exact
Yeah,
context.
you
Like
were
there's almost the exact same amount of music to listen to
yes.
of what Sublime put out versus Nirvana. I mean,
I
I
just
don't
feel like
have
the
a count
fan
on that, but I'm saying it's probably pretty damn fucking close.
So the fan base for Nirvana though is like
And
this wider
Sublime does
spectrum.
now like tour live with some
Yes,
other guy. I
which
don't
is
know shit about it. I
yeah,
mean,
and
I don't.
that to me
but
doesn't make sense. Be a different band. You can even play the same songs. Just be a different band. You can't just be like Sublime with this fucking guy. That's like we're Queen with this guy. Like it's not. I don't. It's to me, it's
let's try
different.
hard.
Well, it's sell shit. That's
Yeah.
all it is. It's sell shit. I saw Queen. No, you didn't. I saw Sublime. You did not. You lying asshole. But like with Nirvana, to me, they're famous. So like the Sublime fan base is what they are. You know who I'm talking about when I say a Sublime fan. You can paint that person. You know them. Nirvana fans. That's literally anyone because Nirvana is it's like a brand. It's a trademarked brand now. What I saw a meme yesterday that was a baby wearing a Nirvana shirt and then the hand was pointing at the baby and was like, name 3 songs. Like it's just become ACDC. It's not, and like it means way more to me than what I feel like it probably means because it changed my life. I was a radio nerd. To me, the worst time in America is in 1996. They do the Federal Telecommunications Act, and the companies can own more radio stations than they ever could. So they're gonna go on to fuck up radio. To me, radio was perfect, and I was trying to explain this to my kid recently how great it was because once upon a time, whatever was popular was just on the popular radio station. So you might hear gangster rap and grunge and R&B all in the same hour. And when they start narrowing it down, so like now this station only plays distorted guitar rock for white guys, and that's this genre of music. And then country music becomes not distorted guitar rock for this group of people. And then the R&B stations are just pop R&B, and pop music is just pop music. It all sounds like it's not changed from NSYNC and Britney Spears. It's a little bit different, and they're a little bit raunchier, but it's the same. It's the same fucking vibe. They found the formula that works. I think they're still trying to sell records to us, honestly. Like that's what it feels like. But like everything quit evolving because you quit like shit. You couldn't get popular. Like used to, if it was cool, it could be popular. Even if it wasn't cool, if it was just catchy, it could be popular. And like that doesn't happen anymore. So you take that out. But like to the point, Nirvana is just a brand. They're to me a lot different than Sublime because like they kind of transcend shit. You know what I mean? Like Nirvana
I
at
mean-
Walmart, like that's a completely different fucking thing, I saw the Misfits shit at Walmart, which kind of fucked me up, but like Nirvana you have to expect. So I don't know. I don't really get mad at like Nirvana's fan base. I don't think Nirvana has a fan base. I wouldn't consider the fan base that I'm in for Nirvana, where like I have an opinion on the best mix of In Utero. I don't really consider me the same as like the cool soccer mom in the suburban that like everybody likes her kids' birthday parties, and she's the cool mom with the Nirvana shirt, and she probably likes Nirvana songs. I don't fucking know. I don't really care either fucking way. As long as Courtney Love gets paid. But
I'm going to tell you
Let me grab my
something.
tin
I
hat.
would not be sitting here today, and then on some level, I know that means he wouldn't either. But I met Dennis Hilton,
The Hammer.
I showed up sophomore year, came back to Lebanon after living in Kentucky for a year, and I changed over right in the middle of the like winter break / change, so right at the halfway mark, sophomore year. I show up to a science class, and I've got a Nirvana kind of like tribute fanzine magazine thing, you know, that it's like, oh, with 12 never before seen pictures and blah blah blah. And Dennis is sitting behind me with long ass hair, trench coat, fucking combat boots on and shit, probably a corn fucking shirt or some shit. And he's like, Nirvana, here if I read that? And I'm like, and so I'm like reluctantly, because I'm afraid like of starting a confrontation with him. I give him the magazine, and I sit through the whole fucking class thinking like he is not going to give me my magazine back. And every minute that this, like, we're getting close to the end of class, I'm like, he's just going to keep it. He's not going to fucking give me. I can tell this motherfucker. And so the end of the class comes, he's like, here's your magazine back. And we start talking about Nirvana, and he's got all the rarities and shit.
Nice.
And he's going to make me a tape. And then he teaches me how to play fucking power chords and shit.
I hope that's
and
still
like,
happening.
you know,
It's so cool to
it's
think
like,
about our drummer that we've been in a band with for fucking 12 years. Basically, essentially, kind of taught you how to play the guitar.
Yeah,
It's so fucking
no,
dope, man.
I mean, I was learning chords, and he's like, get off that chord shit. Let me like show you how to play, and you'll be able to play anything you want. And shows me power chords, and next thing it's like I'm writing songs and off and running.
He started you on a path that led to them pants. So
yeah.
Thank you,
Those
Dennis
pants.
Hilton.
Why don't you show the world those pants?
Well, they can kind of see them.
Yeah.
That's rock star.
Oh, hold on. Like, I forgot I have the power. I can just go wide. There you go. Put
There
up
it
there.
is.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah.
They really hug your butt.
What is it,
I
Sunday?
noticed when you
It's Sunday. That's certain. Yeah. Man, yeah, my true introduction to Nirvana, I had to figure it out. And I think I was in 4th or 5th grade. I'm at Walmart because I lived in such a tiny town. Entertainment was going to Walmart and fucking off for 3 fucking hours. And I'm in the section with the car radios and the stereos, and I hear this song come on, and it's Drain You off of Nevermind.
Nevermind came out.
That was my introduction to Nirvana.
1991.
No way.
Yes, that was today.
Holy shit.
That Bad Motorfinger by Soundgarden came out today. Low End Theory by Tribe Called Quest. Trompe Le Monde by the Pixies. A bunch of stuff. Today's one of the great days in popular music for
Holy
us.
shit.
For us.
For us.
Yeah, for us. This was
for those who celebrate.
Yeah, this is kind of like our Rosh Hashanah. I don't know. I probably fucked that up. But no, yeah, well, Nirvana for me, I always watch the MTV countdown, the top 10 songs countdown every day after school religiously, and then just like grunge showed up, you know, like what the fuck. And I really got into it, and then my mom let me go to Lollapalooza when I was 14. So 1994, Lollapalooza comes, and she just drops us off, me and a friend, and we meet some girls we did tasseled corn with. And I smoked weed that day for the first time, and a guy bought us beers. We started a fire with a blanket. We saw Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds and the Breeders and Tribe Called Quest and the Far Side. And man, the Boredoms played their weird noise shit. Parliament Funkadelic came out in a spaceship. And then it ended with the Beastie Boys they were playing their instruments. It was they were touring on Ill Communications. And then the Smashing Pumpkins went on after them, and everybody booed the Smashing Pumpkins off the stage. But I went home and immediately took all the money that I had, and I called my dad and was like, "Hey, guy, I need a guitar. Find me a guitar." So he bought a crackhead he worked with at the factory, sold him a 1977 Fender Precision Pace and an amp for $150. And we were off and running, man. The guy I went to Lollapalooza with had a guitar his uncle gave him, and we were a band immediately. And that's all I ever wanted to do. I left Lollapalooza and was like, oh, well, this is clearly I'm never going to do my homework again. Like, I want to definitely smoke weed more, and I definitely want to play rock and roll forever. And yeah.
Any chance you
how I
remember
got here?
Remember the name of that band?
Which band?
That first band?
Oh, the first band. Oh man, we had all kinds of dumb names. There was a Micro Shake was one of them because we thought we were clever because it was a little bit of micro shake at the bottom of your bag because we were really edgy and 14. I don't know. I was in a band called Break North that was like the band. So we had a very supportive choir director at our school. So we got to play, our band got to set up and play on the gymnasium stage every Friday at lunch. So we could show up and do like the songs you would do in the 90s and like Rage Against the Machine covers while farm kids ate their lunch. And you know, it was a really good time. You know, we were really into Weezer. So like 1998 is the year I graduated high school. They were voted the most popular band at our school, even though they hadn't had a record out for like 2 years. No one cared about Weezer, but we made everybody care about Weezer. Yeah, goofy shit. I played the piano and the bass when we played. This is so embarrassing. Closing Time by Semisonic. We played that. Yeah, we played that at a.
I can see Shet playing that.
It's humiliating now, but
the first Monday karaoke, the first Monday karaoke that I did, that I actually closed out the karaoke with that song.
It's such a cheesy song, but you know, you're that age, and my friend played.
We were only freshmen.
Oh, that too. My friend played the Good Riddance, the Green Day song at graduation, and it's just like, man, if it was one of those that you could just erase and have it back, that is so cheesy.
The thing to me is like the bad shit from back then is still so much better than the shit that's considered good now for the most part.
There
like
was a sweet
those songs are all so fucking memorable and shit, and it's like, yeah, they're horrible, and I hated it at the
fucking
time.
Nickelodeon's
so commercial, but like
Teenage Dirtbag.
I mean, that's a great fucking song.
I got in a fight with a kid over Wheatus because I was like, who would bother coming to this dumb festival to see Wheatus? And that kid was like, you better, that's my favorite fucking band. It was just like, oh my god, like fucking Wheatus. All right, that's fine, sure. You know, it was just a weird time. You know, you could go on spring break and be on MTV watching Third Eye Blind or whatever. You know, it was
that's the thing is when you go from like 95 probably through till right up to about 2000, it's like it was every progressing thing for me was like I become more curmudgeon-y and like this all sucks, this is all too commercial, and you know there would just be a rare thing that would hit me just right for some fucking reason, but it was always, I felt like I was on this downward slope of giving a shit about any of this music because it just started to.
It's that Telecommunications Act of 1996. My kids get so tired of hearing that. But like that
telecommunication,
it ruins music. It really does, because everything kind of freezes in that spot, and all of the guitar rock that you still hear on whatever the X station is now, it all is a derivative from that shit from 1997. 1997, it all stops, and they just kind of feed off of that. That's why everything sounds like Britney Spears. Everything sounds like God. What there forever, guitar rock was either a derivative of like Godsmack or Creed, or you know what I mean, it was all similar to, it all came down, which I mean, what Godsmack's really just a derivative of like Alice in Chains, somewhere between Alice in Chains and Nine Inch Nails. But you know, it's I'll never forget hearing that band for the first time, and somebody was like, check this shit out.
Are you what do you think about Queens of the Stone Age?
You know, there's a time and a place. I'm not mad. Like they're a good band. I won't turn it off if it's playing. It's just not.
The reason I mention that is because they literally put out a whole fucking album dedicated to, like, essentially what you're talking about was that movement. They made a whole album talking shit about radio and how everything is just regurgitated bullshit. It's called Songs for the Deaf.
But here's the thing, if
it's a literal reference to radio
clearly
music.
People just want that. I mean, I think that's the thing, is music has changed as far as its meaning in people's lives.
Well, we
they
take
want
music
that
too serious
just to be easy.
By virtue, like us being here now shows that we take it probably too serious, more serious than a regular person does. You know,
they call me lazy boy, right?
Well,
Yeah.
that's fair,
yeah.
but we have really strong opinions on shit like 311 and Sublime, which doesn't make any sense. So, like, we clearly take it too serious. But for the most part, I think people just want shit that makes them forget what they're doing right in that moment. Just they can play in the background, and I want more. I want. I don't really know how to describe what I want because I want something different all the time. I take a lot of pride in Spotify at the end of the year being like, you listen to a stupid amount of new stuff this year. You're always, like I try and find something new to listen to as often as possible just to hear it, just to be because I'm interested. I want to know, and then sometimes you find a gem and I listen to nothing but like 80s new wave for 6 months because I found a song by the that just really fucked me up. And that's just the direction I went. That's why I like being alive now, and I try and explain to my kids the difference between growing up with no record stores in a farm town where you couldn't get new music, and like now, like when people are like, "I don't know that band," to me that is sacrilege. You got a machine in your pocket that will play every piece of music that's ever been goddamn made for you at any time, and you don't know about Big Black. You don't know about Lightning Bolt. What the fuck is your deal? And it's like, oh, that's because most people don't even consider that music, you lunatic. But to me, we've been given this gift of you can just hear anything. And I wish more people got paid off of Spotify.
Yeah, it's a problem.
Dear Spotify. But at the same time, I'm not going to be mad. I legged out capitalist America this long. I at least should get some of the spoils of making it here. And one of those spoils is I can listen to Motorhead and Diana Ross on my way to work tomorrow, and nobody can do shit about it.
Hell yeah,
motherfuckers.
I don't know why my brain went here, but I had to think lazy. So when I was we started hanging out, how old it would have been? I was like 26 or 27.
20s.
So I lived such under a rock, and he introduced me to Minor Threat. He introduced me, just a variety of bands, but like
probably some Bad Brains.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Bad Brains for sure. Oh yeah. Pretty much anything like hardcore early 80s. Like not before post punk, whatever. But like a year and a half, 2 years ago, he got into this Metallica phase, and he was like just so hard into it. And he's like, "Have you ever listened to a band called Testament?" And I was like, "Testament? No." He's like, "I'm about to change your life," and he did. And now I'm like, I just love 80s thrash before like
Exodus and Death Angel.
Yeah, but fucking Lazy is like, let me blow your fucking mind, bro. And I just got fucking hooked, and now I'm like this huge Testament fan.
I'm gonna be fair. That's the music my brother listened to when I was a kid, and to me that music sounds like wedgies and hating when he would come over. So like I don't know. I just maybe
I feel you.
Maybe it's like a weird association. I don't
know.
I
had the same thing though. Like that's the thing to me where as somebody that I liked 311 and I didn't really give a fuck if somebody like wanted to talk shit about it. I was always gonna, because the thing to me is like, if liking Butthole Surfers makes me cooler in your mind than me liking 311, like what does that say about you? Why do you give a fuck what I like or not like?
Hey, and I got a Limp Bizkit patch on my fucking
band,
jacket.
My band, The Buddies, my band, The Buddies, back in the day at Lebanon, like we were as fucking weird as it seems now, because I think if you went there that you just couldn't picture it, but we had a scene, and there were probably 5-6 other fucking bands and whatnot, and we were the ones kind of behind the scenes putting on a lot of like Moose Lodge shows and park shows and shit. And because just out the gate, that was, we were organizers and fucking serious about trying to play and shit. And I felt like an outsider constantly in that shit, because I was, this fucking wannabe to them. And I was like, you can fucking call me a wannabe or whatever. I'm gonna like and be who I want to be. And I like fucking Nirvana, and I like fucking Sonic Youth, and I like Smashing Pumpkins, and I like 311, and I don't give a fuck. And I like cool shit and fucking stupid shit, and I like gangster rap and like, to me, when Nirvana hit, it was almost like, what's more important to me right now, Nirvana or House of Pain? Like, And so I don't know, like there was the rock rap cross section for a minute there, and me being kind of like, and then there was just a couple of things where all of a sudden I was like, I hate that fucking music. But
see, I don't hating shit has kind of always been my jam. My grandfather, when I was a kid, used to say that I would get up in the morning and look in the mirror and say, "I hate you" to myself to start the day. So like just not liking shit, and then Nirvana hits, and Kurt Cobain is like, "It's okay to hate shit," and that was my jam. And he's like, you should be following these bands." Kurt Cobain puts out the list of his favorite bands, and it was a list of bands I'd never heard of, and that to me became like the holy fucking grail of like
I
I
get
don't
that.
have to do what MTV tells me. There's so much more happening. And when I realized what all was happening, that's when it really became a drive for me. Was like I gotta know what beat happening is doing. I gotta know what these bands are doing. What's this guy? Who's Daniel Johnston? What is this stuff? And it just kind of led me on this fruitless life of constantly wanting to hear the weirdest shit and know what other people are doing.
I feel like that's how I got into the Pixies, and I think about it because it was like
I was gonna say
I
that
was hearing
Mudhoney,
Kurt Cobain
Melvins.
talk about how fucking this is like a Pixie song and Pixies, and honestly, then I saw fucking Gavin Rosdale talking about the fucking Pixies and shit, and I was like, I gotta know, like I just gotta know what this shit's about, and then I started turning everybody around. Like I was like instantly hooked on
To
Pixie
me,
shit, and I had all the tapes and
Nirvana was the
fucking
gateway drug to all of those things, and it kind of moves in it's really fast order, and you get the loud, quiet, loud bands, which really all kind of comes from the Pixies, in my opinion. But like, I don't get it in that order, so I get Nirvana, and then I get kind of like the Weezer thing of like the quiet, loud, and then it kind of leads me into like, oh, this other thing that has already happened. That's one thing that I'll give to the X radio station in the early 90s. Is like really was a good place where you could find a lot of the stuff that I was looking for. Now you can only hear it once a week or very rarely, but like you could get those things. It's just like I said, Kurt Cobain puts out that list of his favorite bands, and it fucking ruins me. I spent all my time trying to find records of bands or CDs of bands that you're never going to find in Anderson, Indiana. I found my first Gas Huffer CD and was just like, yeah, and then I didn't like it. And it's like, oh, what a fucking bullshit feeling to finally find some shit you're looking for and then not like it. It's not like the other grunge bands. Guys, I'm gonna have to step around and take a piss.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
So
that's what
just
I
anywhere, I assume. I mean, not in here, but
That's just fucking.
And do you have a neighbor
in the corner?
I mean, just
if you go out the door and then
right
turn
there.
left, there's this little right there. Yeah,
So
everybody pisses
on the fence right there.
So,
what's the CD you bought? Like he brought that up, where it's like you were excited to get this, or album, whatever format you got it on, but like, what was the one that you got so excited to get and then fucking hated it, man?
Oh, man. Ooh, that's a good one. All right. First one to come to mind. I mean, it is what it is. I absolutely love $3 bill, y'all. And when fucking I know we're on Limp Bizkit, but hey, we're going back in the day.
Love what you love, bro.
And Significant Other comes out, and I love Now I'm Broke or I'm Broke, whatever it's called. And I listened to the album about the day it came out, and I was like, dude, I'm Broke is my favorite song on the album. Trust is probably my second, but for sure the big one's gonna be Break Stuff. And the only video they had out was Nookie. And then they put out this album called
the
Hot Dog Flavored Water. And I was like, trash. Hated it. Even to this day, I'm just not a fan of Hot Dog Flavored Water. I just felt like they kind of went away from it. Was just overproduced to me. He lost his fucking edge on that album. It turned into more hip hop than because if you understand Limp Bizkit, and I know this is not the right room, but it's not the right room for this conversation. But
You can hear
that
my
first,
blood pressure going up.
yeah,
Let's do
that
this
first
shit.
album was just so fucking aggro, man. You know, just so much energy.
The one with Faith.
Fuck, man, like that's the worst song on that whole. Pollution is a better song than that fucking song, man. But Stuck.
Is that song?
Psycho Female blowing
There.
up the phone
There.
line. That's Stuck.
I get it. The problem, so where he fucks up is dudes that wanted that, the yous of
I
the
was
world
fucking 13, baby.
got him famous, and then he got on MTV and became friends with like Justin Timberlake and Method Man.
Oh, dude, he was trying
And
so hard to fuck
he
Christina
thought-
Aguilera.
He
So
thought
hard.
that's
I
what
feel
they
it.
were.
I get it.
He thought that was their jam, so that's why the next record come out for like the MTV crowd, and that's where he fucks up because
Dude,
he didn't have an MTV
I
crowd.
thought a significant other had just enough of that Fred Durst like fuck you energy to where like I'm Broke or Trust were pretty good songs, and obviously everybody loves break stuff, blah blah blah. But that next album for sure. Anything after that, I agree. And the only song they wrote after that fucking album, they kicked out West for whatever fucking reason, and they wrote this song called "Eat You Alive." And I was 17 when that came out, and it was about eating pussy, and I was all about it.
Because you're 17.
Yeah, exactly. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm older now and I see it, but there's just this part of me that I just love that those early days of when they were free to, you know, be the true form of Limp Bizkit. But you know, I also love fucking Corn. Like I to this day, like dude, Corn comes on my fucking playlist. I'm just like, yes, son. Like Life is Peachy, fucking fantastic fucking album, blah blah blah. But that's me. You know, like I said, you too, class of 98, 99. I'm 02. You know,
Corn missed me. That's more like the Jinko set, I think. It wasn't really my jam. But like I said, I hit my stride, I think, in like 1990, late 94, early 95, where I just had dirty jeans and like a cardigan that had like holes in it and a dirty band shirt. And like that was going to be my uniform for the rest of fucking forever. And like I wasn't really accepting. What I really wanted was just Nirvana to happen over and over again, and nothing was ever like that again.
never.
So
until Tight Like a Tiger.
and then
I
Lord in
could
heaven.
chime in on that.
But yeah, you know, so like I kind of didn't really had a place after that. You know, Weezer was almost a thing, and then they kind of float off of the point. It felt like there for a while. But like I found different underground bands kind of one at a time that just kind of dropped in my lap, and it was like, well, this is the thing that makes sense to me. And then it kind of moved around. I dated a hippie girl. I lived with some people that were studying to be they're all like doctors of psychology now, and they were all like super hippies, so there was like some hippie stuff. I got real into like Radiohead is probably the one band that transcended all of that I could always kind of lean on.
But I hated once we got to like Kid A with them.
I honestly like that. You know, I liked that.
Me.
I liked that.
But I thought OK Computer was one of the best albums.
I liked that they could have sold 1 billion records for the rest of forever just on the laurels of being Radiohead, and they were like, no, we still want to do weird shit. And even when people push back against it, they were like, you know, whatever, we made the records, we're gonna do the things we want to do now, and I can appreciate that.
I mean, you can respect it, but that you can
I
also
like
like
I actually really
not
liked it.
like music and still respect their
my
right
favorite Radiohead songs are all off of like Amnesiac, which is like real weird and a lot of ticking and a lot of not the robot sounds, but just like noise kind of in the background. I really like that. But I just never really found it wasn't punk rock. You know, punk rock to me, being a little kid and hearing the Ramones, Blitzkrieg Bop, National Lampoon's Vacation, when they're leaving Chicago and Audrey puts on her headphones in the back seat when they're just leaving, and they're either leaving East St. Louis or Chicago, and it's playing the Ramones, and like that shit changed my life as like a young person, and just being like, I don't know what that is, but like that's my shit. And that was one of the few things we had on VHS at the house. So I watched it over and over again.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like I don't know, like I always like dirty things. I like things that seem like they're basic. I don't like when people feel like they're trying too hard. I don't like when it's too shiny. overproduced. I like it. I don't know. I like the warts. I guess that's the thing. I keep coming back to
A true
Nirvana.
Mr. Clit fan.
Yes, because they deliver it. That's them, and that I think I told the story when we first saw them. I think when I first saw those kids loading their shit for the first time with that name, and they look like teenagers with colorful hair, and I'm like, oh, these fucking they're cute, whatever. These kids, it's whatever. It's artsy shit, and then they started playing, which is like, no, that is like full on like they're delivering them. That's them. That's them now. They're in like to me they're kids. They're in their 30s being adults, but that's them. That is 100%. There is no fake. There's no sheen to that. That is them delivering you what they hear and what they see. And I love
that they like got there and had this defined thing before they were like, like for me it's like I had kids and shit. Like I could never, the idea of some of the touring and shit that they've done, and but it's like so inspirational. Like
I think a lot of us lived vicariously through them for a little while, where it was like they got to do the things that like we were too old to do.
Yeah,
I'll tell you, dude. Like a surreal thing for me. So I've been shooting photos of bands for quite some time, and I started
6 years.
It's over 10, but actually next year will be 10 years as the official photographer for Punk Rock Night. But one of the surreal things, though, going back in time and thinking about, like whatever, 2016, 2018, and we'd have these bands come in from New York, Texas, California, Detroit, and every single fucking one of these fucking bands, like I'd sit there shooting the shit with them before the show. And they're like, have you ever heard of Mr. Clit and the Pink Cigarettes? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, man, I fucking love that band. And their work and how like hardest touring indie band that I've ever seen. I mean, I just don't know anybody that has put more time in and getting in that fucking little fucking Kia or whatever the fuck they drive is.
Nissan Versa.
Yeah. And driving across the country and sleeping on people's floors. They're essentially like our own little Green Day, because back then that's what Green Day was doing, exactly what Mr. Clit has been doing for so long. But it's it is truly a surreal thing of even today. I'm just saying, years and years ago, it was like, holy shit, it didn't matter who was coming into these shows and playing, regardless of what part of the country, Florida, Arizona, they all know him. Well, they've all played with him.
My girlfriend her daughter just turned 21, and like one of the main priorities is to get her in front of Mr. Clit to see Mr. Clit play.
That was my kid's first
and so
show.
Like I think they're playing Thursday at the Mel.
They are, yeah,
trying to go and get her up there and shit. So
my kid
I don't know.
Was 5 years old, and we took her to the.
Can you move your mic in just a little?
The dojo. I think it was the dojo then. Is that right?
A little more.
So yeah, so that was her first show. Was she sat with head for ear muffle phones on and watched Mr. C and the PCs, because we didn't want her to tell the teacher that she saw Mr. Clit and the Pink Cigarettes, and fucking blew their minds, man. Like the Pink Cigarettes were always the band that when cool bands would come, it seemed like we played with a lot of cool bands that nobody cared about, that we would play on Sunday night. And you'd want to tell when you'd meet somebody that was in a cool band, the first thing was like, no, you got to check out the Pink Cigarettes. Like it was our secret, and then we want you. And then all of a sudden it was like everybody knew him. But I could not suck Abby Hart's dick anymore, because I think those guys are great.
Have you seen Grimy?
Flabby fart. I hate you. No, not yet. I don't even go see bands anymore.
I was
gonna see a band, it would be Grimy, because I love Abby. Yeah. I love Davey. I love Aisha. I love those assholes so fucking much.
Yeah. But thanks, bro. You can toss it, man.
I doubt that. I doubt it. Just sounds like
Nick doesn't play sports.
Horrible idea.
I would probably.
I was at Abby's first show, and I was blown away, like, with her stage presence, and now 2 years later, just straight killer.
Yeah, well, she's a monster, man. She can do everything. When we first met her and they were young, and I think she was doing like drama stuff at Butler. She's so creative. We've got a picture. Her art hangs in our house.
Hell yeah. Same.
She's just I couldn't be a bigger fan of. I mean, of all of them, but like Abby, like she's the one I hate the most. So like when I look into the camera, I want to make sure that she knows. Fuck you, flabby fart. You're the worst. But I love her so goddamn much. Like she's just the greatest. And the Pink Cigarettes. And we played with a lot of really great bands. There was a lot of cool stuff that happened at the time. You know, I think we were lucky to have all the weird shit that was happening right at that time. You know, not to sound old and like shit's not
we
cool
old,
anymore.
bro.
Oh, we're definitely old.
Shit.
Yeah, we're definitely old. Like my pubes are gray now. I'm definitely old. I can't imagine doing a giraffes thing where I'm in my underwear and just being like, I'm so tired. My neck hurts. You know, like none of that. It seems like it just happened yesterday. And then like when you really think about it, just it didn't feel like those things could happen ever again. But I don't know, like nobody cares. You know, it's not like I talk about that shit like it was like some big deal. Like nobody fucking cares.
People care, Dustin.
Oh, there's no way. We played a bunch of shows too, 8 people.
One of my buddies, Wesley, who does like a metal band here in Indy, he commented on the post earlier. He's like, holy fucking shit. And he's only been around like I met Wesley here in the last 2 years, but he was like, holy shit, I wonder what happened to that dude in Giraffes Eating Lions because he's he's heard of you. And that's
he probably thinks I'm like a fucking psychopath. Like I'm just a regular guy, Wesley. I'm just I'm a mailman. Carry mail on the Far East Side.
That definitely fucking
kids
checks out.
Regular fucking guy.
Yeah, I mean, if the only thing you know about Giraffes Eating Lions is historical video of the band, yeah.
If you were there the night that he almost kicked me through the window, when he kicked me in the ass, I almost went through the front window at the Melody. If you saw that, and that's all you know of me, that was your one, what's the crossing paths one night, and that's all you know. Yeah, you probably think I'm a fucking maniac. Like that's not okay. 12-string bass. Oh wait, is that Psycho Matt?
Obscene Rights? I have no idea. Thanks for watching Obscene Rights. Cheers.
12-string bass feels like a Psycho Matt thing.
So I the first time that I had heard of you, of Giraffes Eating Lions, Wayne Birch put this post out on social media, and it started. It's like 50 words, and then it ends with Giraffes Eating Lions is the best band in Indianapolis. Ooh. And the first 50 words, I was just like, "What is he? What is this? Where is this going?" And I was like, okay, I had to see this fucking band. And yeah, that was I
feel like we were the band that people in other bands liked, because I was saying the stuff like
exactly. You were doing this shit that everybody else wanted.
Everybody wanted to tell people that were watching them they were assholes or whatever. So like we were the band that we were like a band's band, and like regular people just didn't get it. They weren't sure what was happening. Nobody was really in on the joke. I felt like a lot of us were. The people that don't hate me, the people that are called my Facebook down last year to like 170 people. The people that do not hate me are the people that got it. They were in on the joke, and it was always just a joke. It's always just a joke.
Yeah, I mean the first couple of shows though, you had me going. Yeah, I was like, that's holy shit. Right? And then I actually got to talk to you, and I was like, oh, well, okay, shit, dude. I was blown away. Your stage presence is still to this day unchallenged. Like you were fucking insane, man. Like the whole band was. And that's the thing is like we sat here and we've covered all these stories, like the fake blowjob or the band-aids or the turning the fucking amps around or dude, like there's just so many different times that I saw you guys live, and it was like, I don't know, maybe showing up to punk rock night and you weren't fucking there, but there were a fucking array of fucking masks on the pool table. And I sat there and watched, tons of people sing your songs because you couldn't fucking be there.
I cried like a baby when I found out about this. And nobody told me they were doing that, and nobody told me they did.
Do you have one of those masks?
I don't know that we do. I know Craig Bell had one with him for a long time that I my face went on tour with him a couple times. I know there was one at the Melody Inn for a long time, and I'm sure somebody did something terrible. There was one that covered some lady's vagina in a picture that will always make me laugh. I don't know that we ever had a picture.
Well, dude, I will find mine, and it is yours. You can have mine.
But I don't know
Like
if you know
yours.
Unk, but Unk was the only
Mhm.
person that wrote letters to me when I was in jail, and I was only in jail for like 38 days. It wasn't like I was like doing like a bid. But I get a letter from so nobody is telling me about the punk rock night. They all just know that I'm kind of been out of shape because I missed it. And then I get a letter from Unk that's being like, "Those assholes wore masks of your face, and it was awesome. Everybody loved you, and they sang a song, and it was just like, oh my god." So I'm sitting in jail trying to be like, you can't like cry, you know what I mean? Like you're having emotions, or you can't just like you're in jail. Like you can't. Oh the fuck, bro. So, it was a fun thing to do. It was wild, man. Like we just did whatever. It didn't matter. Nobody took it serious. We were never gonna do anything with it. You know what I mean? Like we were glad to be the wild band that bands sometimes. If you were a band that was gonna book the Melody Inn on a Sunday, you probably wanted to play with us. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
If you wanted to play a show nobody was gonna come to and you knew it already, you would put us on the bill because we weren't gonna draw, but we were definitely gonna make your 8 local friends say, "What the fuck just happened there?" You know, the "What the fuck was that" award.
Yeah.
When we got that, there's probably never a more fitting award given to anybody than the "What the fuck was that" award
Yeah.
for us. You know,
Dude, I would agree. Like you should be the all-time what the fuck was that? I mean, dude, yeah.
So I feel like we're up for that with Sex Blanket. I could be wrong, but I think we are. And I saw somebody saying that it's like, somewhat insulting. And I think
I'll tell you what,
that
dude.
it's like
I love
if you
Stouch. I love
do
you. I love
something
Dennis.
that
I
leaves
love Izzy, but I
people,
think Anthony is the fucking difference maker. And that is because you look at Anthony and he's there with his guitar, and you would just think, oh well, yeah, he looks like a guitar player, but that motherfucker is insane. Like he's the last person that you think was insane. You look at the four of y'all motherfuckers, and then there's this guy. Anthony Crow does not look insane, but he adds so much energy to that band. I mean, and that says a lot because Stouch is a fucking
but
nutcase.
I think that there are bands that certainly embrace an element of what the fuck was that,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah. Amen.
And I think Draft Seating Lions, I think currently of the Receipts being a band kind
Oh
of like
yeah,
that,
for sure.
that
Yeah.
kind of want to leave that taste in
Well,
your
what's
mouth,
what's
like,
beautiful about what we're talking about is kind of what he was touching on. The reason why Giraffes Eating Lions, in my opinion, is should be considered like one of the greatest what the fuck just happens is because they weren't trying to be what the fuck just happened. They just are. What the fuck just happened? You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense?
probably unchecked mental illness. If we're gonna
Yeah,
fall
like
back on that
it's not like
again.
you were trying to be crazy. Uh and in my opinion, like what makes Republican Sex Blanket so crazy and out there is yeah, there are things that Stouch will do that are prepared and thought about, but when you mix in this element of Lazy Boy and fucking Anthony Crow and Izzy, and then of course the fucking Hammer, it totally just brings this whole fucking energy of fucking insanity. And I've been lucky enough to witness Republican Sex Blanket at every form at this point, and now this more a little more insane version of the band. So sorry to cut you off, man. Too much. I will leave you speechless because I never shut the fuck up. But yeah, you were saying, bud. Sorry. Oh yeah, the receipts are great too.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, like, there is like we were talking, I don't know if it was during the show or before, but like Flipper is a band, where it's like, I think, I watched them live. I had like a video of them live, and I have like a bunch of the records and shit and whatnot. And there's this song, The Will, and on this video, they literally just are like bringing people up, and they're going, I am the will, over, and it's like 20 minutes long of the same fucking riff, and they just keep doing it and doing it. And I don't know why, but it's just like that shit is romantic to me.
I like bands that make you feel
And
uncomfortable, and that's to me that's what Flipper is that it makes you feel weird, and like there's a place for that feeling from you. Music doesn't have to make you feel happy or sad, sometimes it just make you feel uncomfortable. And like that's what I like about Flipper. I feel like maybe Giraffes did that sometimes. I don't feel like the music was uncomfortable, but I feel like the stage thing probably felt uncomfortable sometimes. There's a band, I think they're Swedish, called Brain Bombs, and but a lot of people don't like them because their songs they're pretty gross. Like it's real suggestive, sex stuff, kind of rape themes and stuff. I mean, it's just music, and they're not bad guys. It's just the themes of it are really really awful. But like that to me, listening to it feels like when you were a kid and you watched Faces of Death for the first time. That's the same. This receptors in my brain that are firing when I saw those videos, when I listen to Brain Bombs. And I don't listen to Brain Bombs a lot, but every once in a while you put it on just to get that weird feeling. And that to me, Flipper is that. Watching when Flipper came with David Yao, and David Yao held my hand and demanded a sacrifice of my soul. That was amazing, but weird and terrifying and awesome. And it's just I just wanted people to feel stuff. I think that's the one thing about Giraffes. We didn't care if you liked it or not. If you felt something, we were pretty stoked. We watched a lot of bands where you leave and you didn't feel nothing. Well, that's a band that happened. Oh, you guys don't have to name names, but I know you've played with bands that you were like, well, okay, and you couldn't tell me their name now. You probably could describe the guy in the shirt that made you laugh the hardest, but like their band was just a band. Not bad, not good, just a band. I like to see bands that make you walk away going, "Oh, fuck. Oh, that was," and it doesn't sometimes it's, their songs are awesome, and sometimes it's the delivery was great, and sometimes did they set that shit on fire? You know what I mean? Sometimes it was, the Daikaiju, the first time we saw him, the guy took a cigarette out of my mouth and put it out on his, or took a drag off of it, put it out on his own nipple, and then threw it in the air, and it was like, well, I don't know how to feel about any of that shit. That was fucking crazy. I can't wait to see them again, and like that's all I really ever wanted, like to do for Giraffes. Like I said, I was really lucky. Those guys wrote really great songs and they were really great musicians. I just wanted to make you feel fucking weird. And I like bands that make you feel, like I said, there's a place for all of it. I can enjoy a band like the Pink Cigarettes where everything feels perfect. It's scary and it's like a drug trip, but it's perfect. Like top to bottom, I think the songs are good and the delivery is good. And then I like bands that the delivery is fucking terrible. I like a band that looks like they're uncomfortable and it makes me feel fucking weird. I like that. I mean, there's the things that you can take away from live music. You can get so many things out of it that I don't. The party to me isn't just the party. It isn't just the good songs. There's just a lot of things. It's a lot of feelings that you can take from it. I hope that I made a couple people have. I know I made a couple people mad a couple times. I know the feeling of wanting to punch me in the face occurs.
I know the feeling of wanting to punch me in the face.
Yeah. Well, oh yeah. That was my thing. People hated me on the internet because it's like you could say whatever mean shit you want. Nobody hates me like I hate me. You're never gonna touch the self-loathing that I have in my heart. So like, sure, say it, whatever. I'm unfazed. So I don't know. I just I'm fortunate. I'm fortunate. I got to live this like weird little, for somebody that always wanted to find the underground band that nobody knew about that made you feel weird and did weird shit. I got to be in that band for a couple years. I'm pretty grateful for that. I'm grateful for the people that I got to meet. Even the people I don't really like all that well, I'm grateful I got to meet them too.
Like me and Shed.
Yeah.
I'm glad to know you guys. I know you guys because of cool shit. You can't be mad about that. And I know a lot of shitheads because of cool shit. At least I got to have some cool shit, right? It could be fucking worse. I could just be a guy that dreamed about it or never did nothing. And what did I do? I played some shows at 38th in Illinois. What the fuck does that even mean? You know what I mean?
And now you deliver mail at 38th in Illinois.
Well, no, I'm on the far east side, like 42nd and Mithofer.
Jesus.
It's funny when you
it's
talk
rough.
to somebody.
Oh yeah, that is rough, bro.
Yeah, it's rough. I carry the mail.
In my thoughts and players.
Yeah, the far east side. People are pretty decent to me. I had one day last week where I found 4 dead mice in 4 separate places on the sidewalk. Like how that even happens. Also, that day ended with a used condom and a bullet casing all in the same picture. I got a picture where they're both together. So like whatever party was popping off, like I'm here for it. I carried an apartment complex that will go unnamed. My mom recently, I just got this route. I wanted this route. This is the route that I bid for. It was the route I wanted. And my mom's like, so where's it at? And it's like, well, I can't tell you the name because you'll Google it, and if you Google it, you're gonna see things you don't want to see. You're gonna be real worried about me all the time. So like, I learned how to treat gunshot wounds. I did Stop the Bleed. Everyone should go to stopthebleed.org, and you learn how to give emergency triage care to gunshot wounds. I did it because of where I work at. You should probably do it just because the modern world's kind of wild, and it's not a bad skill to have. I'm going to learn how to administer Narcan in case I come across anybody that needs that. I'd like to be able to help. I want to be the mailman that it's not my community, but I got to be there every day. So if I'm invading your community, I would like to at least feel like I'm making it less bad. You know, I got a lot to atone for. I got a lot of sins. I got a lot of sins that I got to atone for. So it's me. It's gonna be me and orphans. A lot of thick kids trying to, I'm hedging my bets before we get to the end of the race here. But no, yeah. But the person that wanted to, and someone said, I think Candace said my character arc is not over. I am a villain that my wife recently taught humanity, and now I want to use humanity. Like, you're going to teach it to me, but you're not going to let me.
Story.
Well, you're not going to let me use it as a weapon. So now
Candace is vegan, and earlier before the show, you're basically like, you're like right there on the edge.
Candace, we were so close. I've stopped squishing bugs. Every time I see a run over squirrel, so I got these squirrels to eat out of my hands. Now every time I see a run over squirrel, I'm that much closer to being vegan. If I could just get my kid to not want chicken nuggets, I think. And we tried. Don't you dare comment and say to try the veggie chicken nuggets, because we tried that shit. It did not. That shit just does not hit the spot. We're getting closer every day. I'm trying to no, always anti-hero, always heal. I'm not really sure how that works, but yeah, Candace, my character arc right now is I'm real mad because people can't fucking seem to find a way to be decent to each other. I'm on the Bill and Ted shit where there's no reason. Why make it harder? Why? There's no fucking reason.
I'm gonna clip this. Like, please, everybody.
Yeah,
be kind. Have a little bit of empathy.
It's hard. It's hard to be a fucking human.
Flip that shit.
I've got a decent job, and I've got a family that loves me, and it's hard. So you're gonna light it, and it was gonna smell so bad. I was gonna be so mad when you lit that fucking gross shit.
I just fucking need to not smoke for a minute.
Candace, blame my wife. I'm essentially a shithead, and my wife is trying to teach me how to be a human, and it's rough. It's probably her texting me telling me to shut the fuck up, that I'm going too hard. But I gotta do my Duolingo. Also, I'm trying to learn Haitian Creole so I can communicate with my customers. I do that little Haitian strip mall there at 38th and Mithofer. So I'm trying to learn how to speak. I'm not very good at it. Mwen mange pour ak diwi. I'm gonna try and order food next week, so I want to eat chicken and rice. Is what we're working on. I did say excuse me to a Haitian lady recently, and she responded with a fucking like paragraph of Haitian stuff I didn't understand, but she knew that I was using Haitian, so we're getting there. But yeah, I'm not a villain. I just fucking hate you, and I want to make you squirm a little bit. That's all.
Be sure to check out, by the way, while we're talking about Candace, she has her own baking company called Rude Girl Baking. Follow her on Facebook, Instagram, yada yada yada.
Like fancy cookies.
Candace is pretty much a regular on our Wednesday podcast, Midweek Crisis, and Candace always brings delicious fucking vegan food. It's really good. So,
well, I'll say we're big sweet eaters. Hit me up, Candace. Maybe I can buy some cookies off you. My kid loves cookies.
Oh yeah. So speaking of, I think Dustin, you probably know him. Do you know who Dirt Douglas is?
Yes, Dirty Doug. Yes,
Dirty Doug.
We have the same initials. We were always talking about finding another guy to play drums so we could be the DPs, the double penetrations.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of him and Nicole both. Big fan.
Hell yeah, I love them both too. So Dirt's gonna be here on Wednesday, and then we're gonna turn around in a week from today. You probably know this guy too. You probably heard of him, Jason Pizzleman.
Yes, Mr. Memes.
Yeah, what a week for chopped liver to have the Dustin Parks, then Dirt, and then Pizzle all in less than 7 days.
All villains all the time. Welcome to the
And
All
Nick-
Villain Network.
and Nick Jordan.
And I'm sure I would almost bet money that Julianne's gonna be here Wednesday and Sunday.
She fucking
So-
hates me.
No way.
No, she does. She
No
does. She
way.
fucking hates me.
I would
Yeah.
just assume you guys are like two peas in the pod.
That's the problem.
just a little
That's the
bit of
problem.
crazy
That's
on
the-
both sides.
That's the
So
problem. I still remember the argument we had on the internet that made her hate me. I still
oh.
remember. It's all right though. I think she's adorable, and I really always liked her. We just had one day where you just can't see eye to eye. It happens. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
That's why I'll never forgive
There's
Nick.
a ton. Look, there's a ton of punk rock people that are probably mad at you for sitting here and talking to me for very long because they fucking hate my guts, and it's fine. I hate you guys too. I think you're the fucking worst. The Ramones were Nazis. Their first record is unfuckwithable. The rest of the time,
Oh,
Johnny
Joey
Ramone's a
Ramone's
fucking
about to
Nazi.
lose his shit right now, man.
Yeah.
Oh
I
my
get it.
god.
No, I did the Chris Franz book from the Talking Heads, and man, it's a bad look. That's a bad look on the Ramones guys. That's rough. But their very first record's unfucking stoppable. That thing is so good, top to bottom. I can forgive a lot of shit. I can forgive a lot of shit for a record that's that fucking good. Yeah, I said Johnny was a Nazi. Yeah, no, I got you, Matt. Johnny was a Nazi. But Joey let some shit slide. We'll talk about it in the DMs later, Psycho Matt. But Joey let some shit slide. You should read the Talking Heads book, Matt. I'll talk at you, my guy. I don't know, I'm kind of taking over. Welcome to the Dustin
Ivy's
podcast.
show, baby. Like,
We're doing the mail tomorrow. Yeah, guys, I'm going back from vacation effective tomorrow, so I'm super bummed. I've just been hanging out at the house with my wife. That's what I told these guys. They're getting me at like the low end of the arc. I had to go to I didn't have to. I love my brother-in-law and his new wife. She's fantastic. You should check out her if you're into clothes. You should check out Style Riot. That is my new sister-in-law, Laura Walters. My brother-in-law is a amazing artist that is doing projects all over the city. You probably saw his stuff at I think it was at Newfields. He did like the bench and the seating area. He's a furniture design professor, fine art professor at Heron.
What's his name?
Corey Robinson. Like I think Corey Robinson Studio. I don't know his website. I wasn't planning on plugging their stuff, but we went to their wedding reception last night, and it was a beautiful event where I underdressed like a jerk. I should have seen that coming, but it's all right.
Show up in your whitey tighties with a domino sign.
I was wearing like a floral shirt. So what happened was she's real into fashion, so I probably should have realized that it was going to be like very formal. And I listened to my brother-in-law who was like, "Oh, people are going to show up in like hoodies and stuff." So I was like, "Well, I'll find him somewhere in the middle." And then I was the only one, and everyone else was dressed like they were going to the Oscars, and I looked like the homeless guy that you would give money to outside of the Oscars. But that's all right. That's all right. I still love you guys, and it was amazing. That house was amazing. It was like a 12,000 square foot mansion that I had the wrong drinks in all night. But
I thought you were gonna say it was a $12,000 home.
no. It sold for. I already looked it up because I'm big on
$12,000 home, meaning like a bathroom at Taco Bell on the east side of Indy.
Right, like a town home at 42nd and Brentwood. No, this was like a $1.7 million home. They've done a lot to it. It'll probably sell for like $3 million now. Beautiful. The whole thing was beautiful. It's not really my jam, but I'd do anything for Laura. She's amazing. At _Style Riot, wherever Candace is trying to aim you there. She's amazing. And these guys are still going at it. Always check out anything Shep's doing, anything Nick's doing. The pink cigarettes.
Hell yeah.
I think that's all I got.
Where are we going to hell? I can't
Melody,
remember.
and the
We're
Melodians
going
always
to
the
Long
Melodians.
Shots on October 5th.
That's right,
to
yeah.
play with Sex Blanket and Rat.
Mm-hmm.
Tied
mhm.
like a tire.
Tight like a tire.
I don't know if that's actually
Shout out, by the way,
being
shout out
actually,
to Will Slosher. He bought 2 extra tickets and made this post yesterday saying whoever shares this or whatever, you get an pull the hat fucking thing and you can get 2 tickets to see that show. And it went fucking so shout out to Will. He's got no skin in the game, just trying to help out, so cheers.
He came and saw Giraffes in Chicago one time. We played in Chicago. The only time we ever made it to Chicago without a blown tire or something. And so the crowd really hated us, like a bunch. They hated us. It was a decent sized crowd at Reggie's. They fucking hated our guts. It took very little time for them to. They did not like us. Okay. Well, it was a very punk rock show. A lot of faux hawks. a lot of Pennywise shirts. It was not we knew walking up to the place like, oh fuck, this is not our jam. So I took all my clothes off. I'd been drinking. They did give us free drinks, and at some point, I was pulling on my underpants, doing like my best Henry Rollins thing, and my genitals fell out. And everybody in the crowd saw my genitals. And my wife, who was just taking pictures, took a picture of that. And I'll never forget that we're standing out front afterwards, and everybody fucking hated it. My wife's like, "Oh my god, like you just showed your ball sack to quite a few people in Chicago." And she shows me this picture, and Will, I love you, Will. He's behind my wife, and I was like, "Hey, will you tag me in that on Facebook?" It's just like, wait, what? You're not tagging this guy in a picture of my balls on Facebook. The fuck? I was like, no, you're not putting that shit on fucking Facebook. The running joke though, always, you guys are probably familiar with Voice of Addiction. Ian from Voice of Addiction were the ones that booked that, and the running joke was always, "What do you get when you show your balls to Chicago? You don't get paid." Womp, 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 womp. But that's all right. Worse things have happened. But yeah.
You made it back.
Yeah. Thank you, Will. Thanks for liking my ball.
Well, I think it's really cool for somebody to take the time to like help promote a show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. I would never. I fuck with Will a whole bunch, and he goes hard, and he's good at what he does. He is an attention getting motherfucker. He knows how to do it. There's a lot of nuance that goes into what Will does. You can't be mad at that. There's a place for the villain. There's a place for the hero. There's a place for the marketing guy. There's a place for all of us. And Will is one of the best at what Will does.
One of the most interesting things, because he's one of my closest friends I've known forever, is he gets this bad rap, and it's like, if you knew this guy, dude, he's like the biggest fucking sweetheart ever.
Oh yeah. That was
he
always
just cares about people and fucking.
That was always the hardest part about fucking with Will, was that he was easy for me to fuck with, because he's one of those guys that like I like everything, and
he's right though.
To me, to like everything is like that's a cop out. So like to fuck with Will all the time was like, I took a lot of joy in that. I'm not gonna lie. Will knows that nobody probably would get angrier at him and fuck with him harder than me. But at the same time, like I said, you can't knock what the guy does, and he's really fucking good at it. I think that's part of what pissed me off so bad, is that it felt like the shit wouldn't work. But like he always had a finger on what the regular people that just wanted to party wanted. And that wasn't
to
me.
This day, it's that I'm going to use the word again, but it's an enigma to me, like how he is able to reach more like what you're saying. It's
he never met a stranger, and he just gets attention. I don't know. I if I could get attention like that, I'd probably be dead. But like I probably could have took rock star stuff a little more serious. I don't know how to get attention like that. I get self-loathing and get mad at myself. But I've never met anybody like Will. And like I always liked Will. It was just the character had to go after Will sometimes. The villain had to go after. Bug. Yeah. You gotta go after the. I got a lot of attention attacking Will. Isn't that the point? Yeah.
I've had a bit of a love-hate thing with Will from time to time there.
Same.
But overall, I feel like if somebody's intentions are good or whatever, like I'm not gonna not see that for what it is too.
Will is a person.
But I feel like overall, like there are people that have put themselves in positions to be lightning rods in their own ways. And he's certainly one of those people.
Will, to me, he's one of the people that I don't think of a lot of the people that we came across. They never crossed my mind. And Will does cross my mind. I wonder about Will sometimes, and like I hope Will's doing good. I don't have those thoughts about too many people. Like I said, I didn't really have a lot of negative interactions with Will, except for ones that I just made up to fuck with Will.
I'll tell you, dude, that poor little fella, he is actually facing a lot of health issues right now. And, his time is a little bit shorter than most of ours. So, but he does mean well, and he's a good person. He's a caring person, and he gets, he does get picked on quite a bit. It is easy to pick on him.
I do think
because he's a big worry about
him that also relishes being the villain.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knows the deal. Well, look, you don't put yourself out there and get the positive and the negative reaction and not know that it's coming. You know, he keeps doing it, so he knows it's coming. So like he gets it. That's why I always felt like he had to understand.
Nice shot.
Me fucking with him. A lot of people didn't understand that. A lot of people didn't get it. They didn't understand. So, much love to Will, Lazy Hawk, and just him. There's a lot of that crew that can eat my whole ass with a spoon, but that's neither here nor there. We've been doing this for a while. What's in the box?
What's in the
box?
So we're at that time. We're gonna get random as fuck. So Dustin, I'm gonna pull. You're gonna go first, Nick, and then myself, and then Dustin. You're gonna pull. Blah 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 blah. So, we gotta go here. I'm gonna dig because there's a ton of fucking questions in here that have never been asked. So, actually put that up there so I don't forget it.
So
by the way,
all gonna answer the question.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's yeah. By the way, if you don't want to read it, just crumble it up and toss it. But
no, I'll read it. I'm an open book. I told you guys when I had.
I don't think I could have possibly pulled a better question.
Here we go.
Yeah. Holy shit. So Dustin, what's the worst thing you did drunk?
Oh. Oof. Well. Drunk.
See, my brain automatically goes to shows. So.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The shows were whatever. One time I got super drunk and I started puking, and I made my friends carry me all the way around a catwalk in my house and down these stairs and all the way to the bathroom. And then when they couldn't get me in the bathroom, I just stood up and walked the rest of the way. I never really did bad stuff when I was drunk. One time we took mushrooms and smashed a kid's car window in because we thought he was trying to look at my dick, and none of that made sense. But we were on mushrooms and it was wild. The fun part of that story though is we stole his backpack. And there was nothing in it. We're stealing. We were just being bastard kids. But my mom finds that backpack in my closet like a year later, and she's cleaning my room for me because I was just a bad kid. And I come home and my mom's crying in my bedroom floor, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, what is going on? Why is she crying?" And she's like, "Who have you murdered?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she had this kid's backpack. So my buddy busted the window out, and he started bleeding. So this backpack has broken glass, blood, and then this kid's fucking passport from where he went out of the country for some school trip. And my mom is just like, "Oh my God, what have you done?" So we did that on mushrooms. That was not great. I never really did bad stuff when I drink. Never really drink a lot. So nothing bad.
I know where this is going. Nick, a story about a show in Lebanon in a bathroom break before you went on. I would assume that's probably the worst thing you ever did drunk, but
I don't know, man.
I peed in the Melody Inn toilet in my bare feet once. That's probably the grossest thing I've ever done.
Still washing your feet today,
right? That's why I didn't get COVID for like the first year.
Because,
I licked beer off the floor at the fifth quarter one time, and that we were positive that I was immune to all diseases.
That's the couches at the fifth quarter are like historical. Like I will never forget those couches at the fifth quarter.
You had to stomp your feet when you left to make sure you weren't taking cockroaches home.
I've always been like that kind of where I'll take a dare. It's almost like just I can't not, especially if it's just something gross. It's like, but I don't know. To say the worst things I did drunk are probably things away from it when I got drunk and just fucking, started some shit or whatever, being an asshole. But I don't drink to the point of drunkenness too often. So
like in the last 10 years, I've puked maybe one time from drinking.
Oh, I got super drunk at the casa and puked on my shoes, and I was kind of embarrassed by that. So I just went to the car thinking, if I set it out for a second, I'd be fine. And I ended up passing out in the back and then left my wife in Rippy's house. And we just met Rippy. Like, we didn't know anybody. Like, I met Drew Cadaver, Rippy face to face, and Sam from the Dockers face to face for the very first time. Immediately got trashed on Jägermeister and then left my wife to fend for herself at 10th and Bosart at a basement show. That's probably the like morally probably the worst thing I've ever done drinking was abandon my wife. She didn't know where I was until she decided she was just going to leave me be and went back to the car, and I was asleep in the back. That's shitty.
So this has gotta be the worst thing I've ever done drunk. 18 years ago, it was you probably don't remember Derek in the Dominoes. Probably not. Used to go to punk shows all the time, but Derek Nelson, obviously, Nick, Derek. It was his 25th birthday. So this is, 17, 18 years ago. He had a birthday party. Our buddy Chaos, different Chaos, got out of jail that day, and we threw this wild ass party at his house in Beach Grove. And I only lived like a mile from there. And I drank basically a half gallon of I drank a fifth of vodka and a fifth of tequila to head. I was 24, 25 at the time. And I decided that I didn't want to stay there because I was an asshole. And my buddy Jeff and Derek had to help me to my car to drive home and help my wife at the time into the car to drive home. And I left there, and I was, y'all, this is bad. I mean, this is really incriminating. This is really bad. This is literally the worst thing I've ever done drunk. And or just done, period. Yeah, whatever. But yeah, drove home, and for whatever reason, the ex-wife now decided that even though it was like less than a 6-minute drive, that I was going to get roadhead. And a cop was sitting in the school parking lot on 9th Street in Beach Grove and saw me swerve for some reason. And we got pulled over. And the night I referenced this night is the 38 special. They pulled us over as I'm pulling into Willow Glen Apartments, and they pull us out. They start with me, ask me why they pulled me over. And I'm like, I have no idea. And they basically were like, well, we saw you swerve. Have you been drinking? I'm like, yep. Did a breathalyzer, I blew a .38. It's probably the most irresponsible thing I've ever done in my fucking life. I just thought I was safe because it was under a mile. It was like a mile. And they didn't even breathalyze her. They just fucking handcuffed her. They handcuffed us both, read us our rights. We sat there as these, and it was 2 cops, 1 car. And apparently what had just happened is they just went to this park. They had picked up Steak and Shake, and they went to this parking lot, and they were on break eating, and they saw me swerve. And as we're sitting there, she's crying. Her eyes are pouring out. And I'm sitting there listening to these 2 cops fucking scream at each other because one of the cops did not want her specifically in the car because they thought that she was going to puke in the car. And instead of actually arresting us, they just released us and let me park my car and walk home. That is by far the worst thing I've ever done when I was drunk. So
that's a journey.
Yeah.
That was a journey. Well,
0.38.
All right.
38% alcohol per blood, what the fuck ever. So
all right, pull the next question.
Oh yeah, that's on you, Dustin. There you go, buddy. Yeah, I've only told that story one other time on this podcast. So
I'm glad I could be here for it.
My face is red because I am embarrassed.
Fucking yikes.
I would not ever do that again. So
roadhead to not jail.
Nick's looking at me like, no one's gonna come to our show. You're a piece of shit.
Who is your favorite local visual artist and why? I don't know. I probably should say my brother-in-law. He's got some tables and some patterns that he's been doing that have been really cool. It's a theme since was it Khashoggi was killed. It's a long story, but if you look at Corey Robinson's stuff, you'll see the patterns that he's been using. He learned how to do rugs and incorporate the patterns. Makes tables. A lot of stuff has these patterns. It's really cool. But if I'm being real, probably Abby Hart. Her tattoo game. It's been cool watching her do everything that she does and get great at it. But the stuff that she made when she was interning or whatever for Mob Graves was amazing, all through the visual art stuff that she made and then the tattoos that she does. I'm not really a visual art guy, but like again, I'm sucking Abby's dick again. I hate you so fucking much. I hate to admit that I like the stuff that you do because you are the worst and you smell like a fart. You do, you rotten jerk. But yeah, probably definitely Abby. Next.
Ashley Taylor.
Aw, it's so sweet. That's his girlfriend.
Okay, sucker.
So sweet.
Sucker. Send me a link. I want to know.
I'm gonna say Nate Bout because he made your first album cover.
Oh yeah. Nate's great too. Yeah. No, nothing against Nate. He's more of a metal guy. I'm not really the metal stuff. The shirt that he's got going right now is kind of dope. You guys should go buy that. Brain Vault Illustrations, Everything Went Black variation shirt that he's selling. And Nate's great.
I really like what William James is doing as well.
He unfriended me, but I do know what you're referencing. A lot of interesting what's the word I'm looking for? Artificial intelligence art. Is that what we're doing? We should start that argument.
Oh, AI.
But yeah. Visual art.
I have an actual.
I guess I'm trying to be an asshole by even going there, but
I went to a Mr. Klitz show a long time ago at this art center. It was probably like 2013, and there was this piece that Abby made. I'm sure Abby was watching. Abby could probably. I think it's called The Eyes, but I had this really awesome piece that she had made, and it's like this face with a bunch of eyes on it. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I have that original, and it's like her most sold postcard or something.
Here's the thing. So here's the thing to me.
I paid like
it
was worth every penny.
I just
leave it at that.
I find that I made albums worth of music basically using my phone. And the whole time that I was doing it, I'm like, this is like having cheat codes with samples and shit like that. You know what I mean? And I'm like, the 17-year-old me, if I could have had this in my hands and just, whatever, I would have. But there's also this part of me that would have absolutely hated it because it wasn't guitar and it wasn't taking, the effort that I had to put in. So I was very torn, and Shep can attest, like I ended up putting out like this double album this year and some electronic shit on another album, but I was very reluctant. I had sat on that shit for over 5 years and just had my little secret kind of fucking 8 albums worth of music that I had done. And part of that was cause it's that same thing was not lost on me then of this like AI art, whatever kind of debate where it was like, well, can I call this all my shit? It's me arranging sample, whatever. And so I guess to me, I find it as I kind of understand both sides of that coin a little bit and don't have a super staunch opinion, and so that's why I'm also able to just kind of joke about it.
It's one of those grander fights that you're not going to be able to win. It's not going to go anywhere. Robert Evans from the Behind the Bastards podcast recently had some stuff on his Substack about like the evils of stuff we need to watch out with AI. I think if you look into that, you'll see what he's saying is that people are getting mad at AI maybe for the wrong reasons. There's a lot of reasons to be worried about AI and maybe to be mad at AI. I don't think it's the putting artists out of work angle that we got to worry so much about. Is the evil shit that the entrepreneurial set is using it to do is some shit we need to pay closer attention to. But I digress. It's kind of silly. It's silly to me, but I can't sign my name the same way twice. I have no skills to make any kind of visual art. So,
but if back in the day, if when just
like
to say even
Nails,
like Giraffes
like
Eating Lions, when you
Griffel.
guys were really hitting it, whatever, and artwork was needed for flyers or what the fuck ever, if you could have this channel in front of you to be like, I'm just going to put in fish playing soccer under fucking a bridge and blah 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 blah, eating hot sauce, and get some cool fucking imagery that looked like fucking art from that. You're telling like you can't see at least some compulsion to want to use that
Yes.
fucking
As
thing.
someone that can't create, yes, I definitely see that. The other side of that though is that I know some people that are visual artists that I wouldn't have known otherwise. John Kramer from Houston is one of them that I met through Julie Zarate, um, because I wanted some of his art. I was like, this guy is fucking amazing. Introduce me. She introduced us. He's my Facebook friend now. Obviously he's in Houston. I've not made my way to Houston to meet him, but like Nate Vaught, like I met Nate Vaught randomly at the Melody Inn one night, and then Justin Avery got him to do the art that and I had him do the flyer for the show I was in jail for. He's the one that made the flyer for that. There's people that are in my life that are still in my life, and at least the social media capacity, that I only know because I had them use their abilities to create stuff for me. And I would like to think Amazon author Psycho Matt knows. But yeah, like I'm grateful that we didn't have that, because it forced me to kind of step outside and like meet these people and like pay them for their work, and appreciate what they did and the effort they put into it. That's kind of why I'm in the weird middle ground. I think it's goofy to be mad at it, but I also think it's goofy to not pay an artist to make art, but I also
But
hate money.
I don't. I mean, I think there is a separation when you. I mean,
There's nuance to
you
it, but we
know,
don't argue with nuance in the internet age. There's no
I mean,
nuance to anything anymore.
I think real art and what somebody is taking the time to put paint to canvas and whatnot, and it's a different appreciation you're going to have when you see that final result. And I mean, that's just it is what it is. Like, you'll have a different appreciation in you when you see those things. And so I don't think that in a world they can't all coexist. To me, making flyers and shit, it's like, I see over here the scene from Airplane. Well, I didn't, film Airplane. I had no rights to use a picture from Airplane to make a fucking flyer. And to me, it's almost the same kind of fucking thing.
Yeah. I definitely see there. Like I said, I don't really have a good argument one way or the other. It depends on who I'm arguing with and what side I might take. It's like I said, I'm worried about things that they do with AI that isn't stealing work from Nate, because I look at it like this: the people that are going to hire Nate to make art are still going to hire Nate, and the people that weren't ever going to hire Nate are probably got their dicks hard because now they can use AI and they can make the thing that they see in their head. But they were never going to hire Nate to start with. If they were going to hire Nate, they'd still hire Nate. I'll still hire Nate, mostly because I want him to keep doing what he's doing, and I want him to understand that like what he's doing is valuable. There is value to it. So like I want to support that. Not everybody does, but they're the same. You're not losing customers to AI. You're just different assholes doing different stuff. But they were never gonna be your customer, So like I don't know.
Well,
Like
I would
said,
take a stauncher viewpoint on the fact that actual artists and whatnot constantly undersell their actual value, and
that's a whole different thing.
I think we
do
ourselves by undervaluing what we do.
I think
And
undervaluing creativity is a problem that we're running into now, more than we ever have, because we've undervalued. If you can't provide profit, whatever you do, if it doesn't turn a profit, then there's no value in it in modern society, and I think that's a fucking problem. I think that's going to make us awful. And it's made us awful. It's making us more awful. Like I said, last night I was at a wedding reception with a ton of creatives, a bunch of people that are artists and furniture designers, and they design clothes and just creative people. And to see those people in their element it's a crazy thing. It's a whole different culture, and we need that. We need culture. We're running out of culture. We don't have enough culture. We've turned our culture into Coca-Cola and Marlboro and what your favorite restaurant is.
Benchmark.
Thank you. Brought to you by
Star Trek.
Amazon authors. Thank you, Psycho Matt. Yeah. So the box.
What? Put me on the spot, Nick. Whatever, dude. You weigh like at least 60 pounds less than the last time I saw you. Minimum 60 pounds.
No, not that. About 35. It's walking, doing
looking good, man. Looking good.
What do you collect?
Oh fuck. God damn. I don't know. Movies, records, Shit, man. I collect it all, dude. Like I'm just nostalgic as fuck. I collect all kinds of shit. So yeah, I for sure collect film, like DVDs, Blu-rays, uh albums, records, whatever. Um I don't know, lint. Because I don't vacuum enough. I don't know. What about you, Dustin?
Nothing real. I like t-shirts. Anywhere that I go, that anybody that's doing anything, if they've got a t-shirt to sell, if it's a restaurant, if it's we saw the WCWO in Anderson recently, and some wrestling guy wearing a pig mask was selling a shirt, and the show was free, but I feel fucked up because that's an art too, and that guy should have got something. So like we went over and I gave him $20 for a shirt that doesn't fit. It's a fucking extra large. I won't wear extra large since I was 15, but like I bought the fucking extra large for $20 because I wanted the guy to have the money. So like, yeah, I got a lot of cool t-shirts from different places and things that we do. If you got a good cheeseburger and a t-shirt on the wall, I'm buying the fucking thing.
Hell yeah. I've got a pretty dope collection of shirts myself and hats. Fuck yeah. What about you, Nick? Dune books.
Dune books and paraphernalia from Dune, and a lot of religious scriptures and books from different religions and whatnot.
Very well versed, this gentleman right here.
Would say
the
got a fairly decent little Superman collection, but
yeah,
I would say the religious books are the ones
compared
that
to the songs that you've wrote that have never been used.
My collection,
a collection of AI music.
What's the song that you wrote about somebody from Anderson? Is it Anderson that made a video?
Red Rocket.
Red Rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's probably
so
my
I probably
favorite AI
shouldn't
song.
say the name.
Yeah, probably not. But fuck it.
We've said every other name.
Yeah, we've dropped all the names.
I mean, the story is like somebody that I knew from Lebanon, and I just kind of crossed paths a couple of times or whatever, and she kind of had a reputation already anyway from that. And the first time where I actually got set up on a blind date with this girl, met her at Hardee's, and within like 2 minutes, I was like, I got to use the bathroom. And I ran out the back door and just ran away from it. And so years later, we're getting ready to play a show in Anderson at a place. I think it was like the Bird House or the Bird something.
Oh,
did we all play together at the Bird House? We played with the Gitmos.
Yeah, it was that show.
Oh my God.
And so we were all getting ready to play, and there was this news story going around about this chick and her husband having just from Anderson just been arrested for posting bestiality videos on the internet and stuff. And so it just really stuck with me. And because it was the girl, that I had ran away from on the date and whatnot. And I thought about like how, it's one thing to be into bestiality. I mean, I guess I can wrap my mind around a person doing some weird shit that I don't really understand, whatever. But when you add a second, like a husband that's going to film you doing this and support, like, I don't know, like when you just get like two people together, sometimes it really is like that bizarre thing to me that sticks with me, where it's like they found each other in all this world in Anderson, Indiana. These two found each other that wanted UFO, and so I made a song called Red Rocket, and it's just about like,
look, now you sold me. So before I just wanted to like disclaimer.
Here we go.
No,
it's a TV ma.
One person or two persons, no animal sex. But the idea that there's a guy out there that's like, I'm so upset because my wife won't put her finger in my butt, and that's some basic shit. But like, I just don't know what to do with myself, and I don't think our relationship can go on. And then these two fucking lunatics found each other. Yeah, it was like, I want to, I don't know how to tell you this, honey, but like, I kind of want to make a video of you fucking a dog. And she's like, oh my God, I want to fuck a dog. Crazy. I can't believe we found each other in Anderson, Indiana. So like, it's a little heartwarming, sort of, in a with nuance. Again, we're gonna bring up nuance, but no, I don't
Way
think.
to find the
So
positives.
my
Dustin.
problem is that an animal can't give consent, so it gets a little weird. Because like I can't imagine, like if I caught you trying to fuck my cat, I'm gonna murder you. You know, like she is such a pretty little kid. Shout out to the Pee Kiki for being the prettiest little kitty in the entire world, and our new kitty Rue McClanahan and our dog Dookie, even though she smells terrible. But no, yeah, you can't fuck animals, guys. I mean,
Right, it's gross and
it's
it's
not
wrong.
okay. That's not okay.
And the fact that this married couple like were into
It's
it, you know.
sweet as shit,
But I
though.
started out like it's like finally she met a man who
Yeah.
seems to understand
I'd watch this
when
movie.
things get out of hand, you grab the camera.
I would
You
watch
know?
this. I would watch this rated R movie. I would not watch this if it was rated X, but rated R. And like we found each other, and the dog seems happy, and just like you constantly have to show me shots of the dog being into it, because the second the dog looked like he was not into it anymore, you're gonna lose. I think you
you'll
probably
lose
lost
your
me.
boner
I
right
think you
there.
lost me already.
Once
but
the dog's not into it,
yeah. I
boner
need
is
the dog.
gone.
I need the consent
Yeah.
of some sort. Bark twice.
Bark
Bark twice to let me know that you're still okay with this.
Dude, okay, so showing my age, but when I was a kid, right, we had the internet at home, and you guys remember like ICQ and all that shit, dude. The first time in my life where I was like introduced to like bestiality, I was in a thread and somebody posted a photo of a fucking horse.
Listen,
Yeah,
Listen.
and I was like, immediately just started laughing, like, what the fuck is this? So I just think it's so bizarre and so fucked up that I just find so much fucking humor.
I
in
was
it.
friends with an older lady, and she loaned her laptop to a teenage kid that needed it for a school project, and she was wanting me to help her. And I'm not very good with computers, but there was something she was wanting me to help her with, and I was like, "So where's it been?" And she told me this kid had it, and I was like, "Oh well, there's porn on it." And she's like, "There's no porn. He's a very good kid. He was using it for a school project. He's on his way to Butler. He would never and ever. He's in the marching band. He's a very good kid." So as she's telling me how good a kid, I just like a really basic search. And as she wraps up what she's telling me, I turn it to show her a chick getting railed by a horse. And it was like, not only is there porn on here, but like, this is crazy. Like that horse is hurting that lady. Your friend is fucked up, lady. But yeah, don't fuck animals, guys.
Yeah, seriously.
Also,
Jesus
like, look, if
fucking
you want to
Christ.
fuck an animal, here's the deal. Here's the thing I need you to understand. There is someone gross out there that will have sex with you. Don't fuck an animal. Just find that girl and be like, you're a dog now. And she'll be like, I'm a dog. Fucking do this shit. Like, just don't fuck animals, please. Please. Psycho Matt, I'm talking to you, Chief. What if the dog starts fucking your leg? Well, Psycho Matt, you let him finish. You let him finish, because he's an amazing, beautiful little
Well, we're
puppy.
done with the box, right? We all did it.
Yeah, I always tap off with one last one.
All right.
Well,
I'm not ending this podcast on fucking
right.
bestiality.
Well, we're gonna fuck the vibe up.
You were the one that was like, "Hey, what about that song?"
Yeah.
But you know, he says,
but it's so fucking funny, dude. It's so funny.
Like I do a little rap in it, and the dog,
well,
like
of
the
course.
guy has walked in and caught him, you know, and he's, but the very end of that rap, it's like, take it easy, dog. I ain't mad. This is how we fucking do it in Anderson.
That hurts a little. I didn't lose my virginity there, but I've had a lot of sex in Anderson, so that stinks.
That's how y'all do it, though.
Yeah, I mean, don't fuck animals, guys. Please. No matter what Nick says, he's gonna go
Even
real
if
hard.
you are from
He
Anderson.
is gonna get mad. He's gonna be real nice. He's gonna try everything to get you to think this is okay. It's not. It's not okay unless that dog is goddamned gorgeous.
And you can see the consent shield.
Yeah. You got to sign a paper that says it's okay if you're a dog somehow. I don't.
Man.
Here we go. Is that not the one?
No, I can't read that one.
Ooh.
I mean, I just can't think of
I feel like one that you can't read is the one you have to read.
A funny ordeal with cops.
Oh my god! I mean,
you guys want to go there?
Oof.
You got a funny ordeal with cops?
I got some ordeals with cops. They hassled me for years.
It's hard to think of a funny situation with a cop.
I'm a felon. That wasn't very funny.
All right, let's try this one. What is your relationship with Hat Man? See,
I don't even know what that means.
Questions are just bizarre.
It's not that serious yet.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to pan out. All right. This is it. Final question. All right. What's your guilty pleasure band, Dustin?
Oh shit. Man, I'm gonna have to say I'm gonna give a shout out to my wife's aunt Lori. We were just talking about this band last night. I love the Carpenters. Straight jams. Karen Carpenter is amazing. I think that she could have been an amazing entertainer in any genre. I think that she just held down some cheesy shit to keep her brother propped up, and she could do it all. She's amazing. So guilty pleasure, that and probably Rod Stewart. I took my mom to see Rod Stewart a few years ago, and Rod Stewart and Cyndi Lauper that night, and I've seen some really cool shit. Rod Stewart is probably in the top like 3 entertainers. Also, he false started a song, and they played the wrong song, and he sang the wrong lyrics. And I've never felt closer to a rock star in my entire fucking life, because we've all false started on a song. But yeah, the Carpenters and Rod Stewart.
Yeah.
Young Turks is a forever champ. I don't give a fuck what anybody says.
Oh yeah. What about you, Nick?
I would say my thought process would automatically go to Van Halen. Like
Guilty pleasure, where it's like you love the band, but you're gonna catch shit for it.
I mean, because they're so almost the opposite of what I tend to put out there, as far as
Yeah.
I hate to
As
keep
an
pointing out your
artist.
pants, but David Lee Roth, come the fuck on, my guy. I mean, you got the most David Lee Roth vibe of anybody I've seen in probably 5 years.
That, I guess that's the thing where it's like I did at some point kind of embrace my David Lee Roth, inner David Lee Roth.
Sammy Hagar's trash, Phil.
But I don't know. For me, it was a big thing when I started listening to Metallica and shit, because I had been just so anti-metal, and I wanted nothing to do with metal for so long.
You
As a
and
kid,
Queens
I
of the
was
Stone Age.
just
Yeah.
a punk, or whatever. But I don't know. There's nothing really I feel all that guilty about listening to, though.
I catch a lot of shit for what I'm about to say. Wear me like a locket around your throat. I'll weigh you down. I'll watch you choke. You look so good in blue. Fall Out Boy. I think Pete Wentz is an amazing writer.
I don't really
And
have a strong opinion.
I just
on Fall
lost.
Out Boy.
I just lost
they're a
like
band.
75 followers. So whatever.
Yeah.
I know they're a band. It's a thing.
Yeah.
The Shake It Off song by Taylor Swift, that's a fucking jam.
Yeah,
You'll always find me losing my shit to that. I love, honestly, though, since last summer we've been listening to a lot of hot girl rap, so a lot of songs about popping your pussy and shit. Doja Cat,
Doja.
Flo Milli, anything really where the City Girl song, Make Your Pussy Talk, my pussy talk English, Spanish, and French. That is my fucking jam. I will make my pussy talk all fucking day.
Goes, what's up?
Yeah. No,
Holy
I'm
shit.
Megan the Stallion for a long time. If you went to my Facebook and it does a little pronunciation of your name, it would say Dustin the Stallion. Right now it says Keith Whitley, because I can't get over how beautiful that guy's mulleted voice from the 80s was. But no, man, they're guilty pleasure. I was glad to just have shit to listen to. I try and listen to something different all the time. You shouldn't feel guilty about none of that shit. The Van Halen, look, there's a picture of me with bleach blonde hair from like 1984 as a little baby with a Van Halen shirt on. Ain't nothing to be ashamed about. So Van Halen, Metallica. Did you listen to them when they had short hair? Fuck that. Other than that, Metallica fucking rules. And the Carpenters, fuck, they're amazing.
Well, I like ABBA a lot.
ABBA. Look, I grew up in a terribly small town, and they played Canadian MTV all the time, and ABBA was always on that shit. So like, I love some fucking ABBA. Look, man, give me some Wham. Give me a lot of cheesy shit from the fucking 80s. I love Madonna. I love man,
I love George Strait.
I wanna drop some bombs.
Look, if you want to get into country music, I am stupid for Randy Travis. George Jones, I think, is the greatest thing that's probably ever happened, because his voice, every trope that you know about country music came from George Jones.
Mhm.
Like those dudes were like, well, George Jones can do 17 things with his voice, and I can do one of them really well. And then you would make a career out of doing the one thing that George Jones could just do all the stuff. You know, I never listened to country music, and a couple of years ago, I got way into country music because there's a bunch of stuff I never heard before, so it was just like new shit to me all the time. Fuck, man. Basically, everything I listen to should be a guilty pleasure. You know what I mean? I listen to a guy that's like a modern guy now, Nick Shoulders, that's coming to the Hi-Fi in November. He's like a mulleted dude from Arkansas that yodels and sings like happy leftist songs about like the modern world. Willie Carlisle, sorry Willie, he was just at the Hi-Fi this week. Probably the best entertainer I've ever, like most creative, best show that I've seen by one person. We saw him at Duke's and he did a song a cappella, played the harmonica, the banjo, the guitar, the accordion. He made us cry and laugh all in the same show. That dude is just putting it on. Man, I'm all over the fucking place. I don't feel guilty about none of it though. Fucking whatever. I just like to be happy. You guilty pleasures. Guilty. The song on the Dude and Juanita record that Sturgill Simpson put out a couple years ago, the song where the dog dies, not the song about Sam, but the song where he dies. If you play that in my house, you will watch 4 people fucking cry real tears. I'm talking real fucking tears. And I can hear the song about Sam was a good old dog. He was, and that's after he's dead. But when he dies, you will fucking ruin us.
So I'm
For
gonna
me,
say
that song's that if I die young, you know what I'm talking, like if I die young, bury me in satin, lay me down in a bed. Because there's a couple of lines where she's like, nobody gives a shit. Nobody's gonna listen to you
Alley's
until you're
Blue.
dead.
My song
You know?
right now.
And when she says that line, basically, like I'm just like, I don't know. It's very
My song right now is "If We Were Vampires" by Jason Isbell in the 400 unit, and he talks about, you know, if we were vampires, we wouldn't worry about having to lose because one of us one day is going to have to live without the other one. One day, one of us is going to die, and I hope it's not me, but one of us is going to have to be alone someday. So, you know, the best thing, we might get 40 years together, but then one of us is going to die, and like that shit hits me so sick. I've been on vacation all week, and my wife has started every morning with that fucking song, and every morning I'm like, I just want a fucking cup of coffee. You don't gotta fuck with my emotions. Like I just, you know, I don't know. I think it's got to be like low testosterone because I'm getting old. I don't know, man. Like sometimes I'll just sit and cry to pop music in the car.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, dude.
whatever.
My
All right.
girlfriend did a thing of 10,000 Emerald Pools. I don't know if you would know that song, but like a little collage video to it and sent it to me like early kind of in our relationship. And it really like touched me and whatnot. And so there's still times where I'll hear that song and just to it, you know, and it's such a pop, you know.
That's why it's amazing, man.
Mhm.
That's why we need that's why we need what we used to have in like the 80s and 90s where you could just get all the pop together and anything could be popular
Mhm.
because some of that cheesy shit is fucking awesome and some of that touching stuff can touch gnarled up fuckheads, you know? Like we need to all have it and get it. But the 1996 Telecommunications Act. My kids are so mad.
So I'm pulling out my best friend fucking card right now. The truest like guilty song of Nick Jordan of all time is Party in the USA,
yeah.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah. That is a fucking
Pull your fucking card.
Love that.
What's my song, bro?
love that.
What's my song? My truest guilty.
I mean,
there's one.
I don't know. You have like several though. You have the what is the name of that? Wilson Phillips.
I'll give you a clue.
Do
yeah,
love that?
I love that song, dude.
And then you
yeah,
love
1990.
The
brought
Blank
us in.
Space with Taylor Swift.
That's it. That's my number one. That's my number one for sure, dude. I fucking love that fucking song, dude. I
know we both get down on some JT.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Justin Timberlake, that first album with Timberland.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, but goddamn Taylor Swift, dude. They just had the MTV Music Awards and there's this video of Taylor Swift in the crowd while somebody's performing, dancing, and singing this song. And I almost shared that video of Taylor just doing that. It was like, I would let her ruin my fucking life. I just have the fucking thing for Taylor Swift. So red flags for days. But yeah, Blank Spaces, man. That's my like ultimate like guilty pleasure fucking song. So yeah. Anyways. So dude, fucking yeah, here we are. Dustin Parks, fucking all the way from Middletown, Indiana, coming down and hanging out as we sit here and talk about embarrassing songs. Dude, thank you so much for coming over, man, and hanging out.
Yeah, I didn't want to do it. I looked forward to it, and then today was the last day before my vacation ended, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna spend it with these chuckle fucks. What am I doing? I want to be at home. I don't even know if I lost my fantasy football. I just kind of lost track of time. I've got fucking.
Did you watch the Colts game today?
Yeah, well, it was what was on.
God, man.
If I was like, first off, I played Zay Flowers, so I'm not gonna lie, I was cheering against the Colts. Also, if I was the Ravens and that no call at the end of the game,
dude,
I would be so fucking pissed.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they were definitely. You turned him. He clearly was turned.
Yeah,
that's some bullshit.
If you didn't watch this game, it was all the way to the end with like 13 seconds left. Justin Tucker kicks a 60-yard field goal, and now the Colts are 1-2. And I don't know. It's just like last year, you know, like. We almost do it, and then the Colts just can't get it done, you know.
They got some help today. I don't, it was that was a very long, like 12 minutes of game time that took like fucking 4 hours to play out.
Yeah,
but
dude. By the way, that was a really bad joke. If you actually watched the Colts game, the Colts won. But I honestly thought Justin Tucker was gonna make that field goal.
He should have. Well, he should have. He's probably one of the great kickers. They wouldn't shut the fuck up about how he's the greatest all fucking time.
Yeah,
that's why he donked it, because they wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. And then they get one call in their favor. I don't really care. I mean, like I said, I just play fantasy, so I'm just trying to win.
That Jim Hart. I'll tell you right now, dude. They had the ball down to whatever. It was a 63-yard field goal. We're talking about Justin Tucker. And because he missed that 60-yard at the end of the fourth quarter, Jim Harbaugh decided to fucking.
He lost his mind.
He lost his mind.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, dude, there's no way the Colts should have won that game, but they did.
Well, and I'm telling you, the third down, when he comes across the center of the field and old dude grabs Zay Flowers, yeah, that's a penalty. That game should have been over then, because there was no stopping them at that point. But also, like, I'm not real sure. I don't know. It seemed like they kind of neutered Lamar Jackson like the fourth quarter and on. You weren't seeing like the best of him, but I don't know. It's what it is. Go Colts.
Yeah,
I don't fucking know.
Well, they've won. They won half the games I projected that they would win this year. So
that ain't bad, I guess. Jonathan Taylor, free Jonathan Taylor. Good luck, Chief. They devalued your position. You're not worth anything, my guy. Super sorry about that, but they did it.
Thanks, Tom Brady.
Blame Todd Gurley. Todd Gurley got that giant check, and then his ACL fell apart. Womp womp. But yeah, that's the one you need to be mad at. You need to holler at that guy. That dude's only like 26 and has been out of the NFL for like 4 years. Tough break, man. But yeah, that's the breaks, Chief. You're gonna have to play it, and you're gonna have to deal with Ursay or sell insurance, my guy. Hey, post office is hiring. Come carry mail on the Far East Side, my guy.
We'll see what happens next week. I think he's coming back. So, but that's, my opinion, because he knows he's fucked. So, yeah, damn. I totally went into fucking football, didn't I? Nick's eyes are burning through me like, God damn it, you son of a.
Sorry, Nick.
I mean, you can talk.
I know. But yeah, I have no idea beyond that game.
If it makes you feel any better, I just looked at my fantasy football app and my feelings are hurt. I'm losing every game this week. So, there you go. Fuck football, Nick.
Davey Gravy and Alicia, they both, Aisha, excuse me. They both do fantasy football.
That tracks.
Hit them up.
I think we did. did something.
Davey Gravy's like the biggest Patriots fan of all fucking time.
What a shitty thing to be. Just I'm a Patriots fan. You're just being a Patriots fan to troll
Half of our
people where you live. That's all.
Half of our banter whenever we see each other, whenever we see Davey, I'm like, so how's your 2-6 Patriots, buddy? I don't know. But
all of our banter was talking shit about other people. I know you're gonna find that hard to believe, but
no way.
I know, so out of character for me, but yeah. But yeah, guys, thanks for having me. Thanks for ending my vacation on a high-ish note.
High-ish,
high adjacent to high note. You know, it's been a weird week. Like I said, we've been moving, so my vacation turned into wrap up some moving stuff and a nice little party last night, and then sending out with you guys now. It's like 10:30. I haven't had dinner.
Yeah,
I'm getting real grumpy. I gotta go like less than 12 hours. I'll be doing the fucking mail, guys. I'm so bent out of shape, and it's almost Christmas time. I'm not gonna get a break. Like, this is the last close to fun thing I get to do until like February, my guy. It's gonna be a fucking nightmare.
I think we made it worth it.
Yeah, man. That was really good.
Those pants made it worth it. Those pants made it worth it as soon as I got here. I could have slapped you on the ass and left, and I would have been like, oh, that was 10 out of 10. Would do again. That was pretty fantastic. Yeah, the rest of this has just been icing on top of this motherfucker. But no, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys putting in the effort that nobody else puts in. I've floated away from the music scene, but as long as there's a Rich Barker, and as long as there's guys like you that are willing to put the work in, like there's always something, just because I'm the villain doesn't mean that I can't appreciate it. And I see what you guys do, and keep it up, man. There's no reason to stop.
Well, I'll tell you, dude, like I would love to see a fucking I almost said Giraffes Eating the Lions fucking show, man. If you and Justin and Rob and fucking Brandon on stage fucking rocking out.
If anybody really wants that to happen, go to the Giraffes Eating Lions Facebook page and harass the fucking shit out. Justin Avery will see it. I promise. Justin Avery will see it. Fuck with Justin Avery. Make him do giraffe stuff. We'll do it one more time. I'll take my clothes off. We'll smash my face up. We'll bleed.
Let's go.
We'll bleed. I'll show my genitals to somebody that probably didn't want to see it. See if I can't get canceled. Is that a thing? Is that a thing we're doing?
You're canceled.
Yeah. What I would like to see one time is I would like to do a giraffe show that my kid could come and see in a bar. I'd like my kid to be able to drink. And my stepson is almost 21. I would like for them to come and be able to see it, like in like some, I don't know. There's people that I've met since giraffes that it's hard to explain giraffes to. So I would like for people to see it. I really would. But no, thank you guys. Keep going.
Hell yeah.
Bring me back. I'll come back and talk shit again. We'll come back and we'll talk shit about people we were mad at in 2013. Obviously, like why the fuck not?
On that a little bit.
Yeah. I'm sure there's some dead people we can dunk on next time, motherfuckers. Dunking on dead guys like it's All-Star Weekend in this bitch. But no, thanks guys.
Hell yeah. Cheers, Dustin. Nick, thanks for making the drive and hanging out tonight. We are the unheard. We are the overlooked. We are shopped.
Don't fuck dogs.
Don't fuck dogs.
You think you're weird? I think you're dumb. You fucking had it to me.